Hello, creeps.
All right, welcome back to Fright Night Flicks. You're here with Dan and Darren.
What's up, guys?
Today we were reviewing the 1982 The Thing. Now, this is, I mean, they've made like 3 or 4 versions of this. I don't know. This is the 82. This is the classic. This is the one you guys want to hear a review on.
I was going to say the original, but it's not, right?
No. There's one like way back. I haven't watched it though.
It has a different name though, right? It's like the thing that destroyed Earth or something like that, right?
I think you're right. I think it's got a completely different name.
That's not the name, but something like that.
Similar to it,
yeah.
Correct. So if you have no idea what this is about, a research team in Antarctica is haunted by a shape-shifting alien that assumes what?
This is not a ghost, Daniel. It's actually hunted.
Hunted, correct. A shape-shifting alien that assumes the appearance of its victims. This is it's not written by, directed by John Carpenter, writers Bill Lancaster and John Campbell, actors Kurt Russell, Wilford Brimley, I don't know, some other dudes, and special effects by Rob Bottin. Now, I threw him in here because this movie has some crazy special effects. I feel like you got to give him a shout out.
When was this made? 82?
82.
Dude, it's crazy what they did. It looks great still.
It looks great, and man, dude, there's so much we got to talk about. We got to wait. This movie takes it to another level on deciphering what is going on.
That's an understatement.
And the deeper you go, it just gets more confusing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the deeper you go, the more lost you get. Because, dude, you could take this any way you want it to go.
There's levels. Like you start off with, you watch the movie and you're like, oh, I think I kind of understood what happened. And then you think to yourself, wait, when did people get assimilated? And then you go to that level of like trying to timeline that out. And then you're like, well, what does assimilation mean? Because there's levels to this.
Yeah, and then you start thinking, what is the thing?
Yes, what is the thing? When did people get turned? And then is it possible people are infected but don't know they're infected?
Daniel,
and it's a long-term infection.
I've gone from like hardly any people got infected to there's a good possibility at one time every single person was infected.
Okay, I might as well lay this out. This is how it's going to go. We're going to break down the show. We're going to talk about a lot of that. But at the very end, we're going to break down like the big points that everyone kind of argues over.
Yeah.
Like who got infected? Was Childs infected? Was Mac infected? Who maybe tampered with the blood?
Oh,
there's a lot to talk about, but before we get into it, what?
Oh, I was gonna say one more thing. But this conversation is what makes this movie so good. Is that there are limitless conversations you can have about this movie.
Dude, it goes so deep, and it's funny because I told you I watched it with a guy at work. He didn't understand the levels of depth that there are to this movie.
I didn't either, and then I watched it again. Then I started watching YouTube videos about it, and I'm like, oh my god, my eyes are open now, and they can't be shut.
Dude, it's so true. I mean, I've watched this movie more than I've watched any of our movies.
Yeah. Dude, and here's the craziest part. We're 40 years old, and I think I just found one of my favorite horror movies I've ever seen.
Oh, hey, save it.
Okay.
Save it. All right, but what did the critics have to say about The Thing? Rotten Tomatoes, critics gave it an 85, audience a 92, so very high.
That's crazy, though, that critics are that low. I thought this would have been like a 90-90.
Well, I know this when it came out, I don't think it had a very good reception. Like, people weren't that into it. It's one of those that just developed over time.
Bro, the more you watch it, the more you get into it.
That is true.
It's like a fine wine. The older it gets, the better it is.
It's kind of like us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of people who are maybe into us, we got some new members to shout out.
I mean, not that into us.
Enough that they become members, and we appreciate it. On YouTube, we have Fernando Zapata and Genghis Sean. Thank you guys for joining.
Oh, dude, that's a great name, Genghis Sean.
That is good. On Patreon, we have Genevieve and Reefer Sutherland.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the support. Dude, we appreciate it and enjoy the bonus episodes. We just dropped Pet Sematary, so hey, dude, you got to watch the intros to those.
I did. Dude, they're ridiculous.
We had 8 intros I think I put into the podcast, and there were some I left out. We screwed that intro up so many times, but it's great.
If you like watching people fail over and over again, it'd be for you.
Yeah, we're your guys.
Hey, do you want more Fright Night Flicks? We got you covered. When you join our Patreon or become a YouTube member, you get access to a bonus episode every month. And trust me, we have some episodes you're not going to want to miss. Everything from cult classics to slashers and some of the most absurd horror movies that we just can't fit on the main show, like Troll 2, which has no trolls and isn't related to Troll 1. And if that isn't enough, you'll get early access to all the episodes before anybody else. And if you really want to be part of the madness, our top tier members can pick our horror movies and make us suffer through whatever you guys want. So if you really love what we do and want to help support the show, head over to Patreon, search up Fright Night Flicks, or just hit that little join button on YouTube. We'd love to have you. Back to the show. We also got a couple reviews we want to shout out. So on Apple, we have now 54, and on Spotify, 94. So we're getting real close to that 100 review mark.
Yeah, dude, thank you guys. That's awesome.
Owen McKittrick, this is Prime Time with the Boys. Been watching for about a year now and have really been enjoying the content. I enjoy your guys' banter and funny and casual takes on movies. Now you guys are covering my favorite franchise, Evil Dead. I can't wait to see what you guys do next, and hopefully the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show. Much love, guys. Thank you for the comment, but I'm going to be honest, we're not going to do the TV show.
Dude, yeah, thank you so much. It means a lot that you left us a review, honestly. You spent the time to say something nice. We appreciate it. Yes, a lot of people actually have requests for like the Evil Dead TV show, or we get a lot for Chucky as well. And I think I would like both those things.
Also, the Welcome to Derry one.
Yeah, hey, maybe one day we'll have time to do that, probably like on a Patreon or something. Right now, we just don't.
There literally just is not enough time to go through every episode.
Dude, I'm not kidding. Yeah. By the time we spin out the shorts and we do the podcast and we edit it and then we do the bonus review for our members, there's just no more time left.
Especially the way we do these, they take a lot of time. So like we would have to spend like months on these things.
Yeah. And we both have full-time jobs. So that just doesn't, and family. So it just doesn't really fit, but maybe one day.
I think that's enough excuses. I think they get it.
Yeah. But thank you.
Next, we have Chaz Princeton, bro for the bros. I've never felt any sort of superiority in my life. However, when I'm in the gym listening to these guys, I know I'm just better than everyone else at that moment. Jokes aside, these two are an absolute hoot. It genuinely feels like you're hanging out and having a conversation about horror with two buddies. They say the things we are thinking when reviewing a movie. Check them out. You won't be disappointed. That is a great review.
Dude, awesome. Thank you, Chaz. That's an A+ review.
And that's exactly who we are. We're just two dudes talking about horror, not taking it that serious.
I mean, yeah, what you see in the podcast is how we talk off pod.
Yeah, that's who we are.
Try to be genuine.
Yep.
Thank you guys for the reviews. And if you feel like leaving a review, we'd appreciate it.
Hey, dude, I don't know. The one who hits that 100 on Spotify, that'd be a pretty awesome thing to have in your bag. You know what I mean?
Maybe a special reward. I don't know.
Well, you'll never know who you are, but you'll know.
Well, we'll know. They'll put their name in the review.
On Spotify, we don't get reviews like that.
Okay.
You just press the 5 stars.
Just get us there, please.
All right, that's reviews of our podcast, but what about the critic reviews on the movie? We're going to start off with Josh. Classic. The score is incredible as well. 5 stars. Absolutely true. Like the music and just the tones that they set in this, it's very well done.
Well, it's an isolated environment, and the tone also fits perfectly with that. Tone? Did I say tone?
Tone?
Did I say tone? Score?
Tone.
I don't even know what I said. The score fits it perfectly.
All right.
Dude, I went in a spiral.
Yeah. Caitlin, best horror film of all time. The first and amazing body of horror. I think she's talking about maybe John Carpenter, the first and amazing body. I don't know. Either way, she loved it. Understandable.
Hey, totally fair.
Abby, one that leaves you without answers in the best way. Couldn't agree with that more. It actually leaves you with more questions than answers. I guess that's what she's saying. But like, I had no idea the depths that this goes, and we can't even get into it.
Dude, yeah, the ending, honestly, is probably the best they could have done for this movie.
There's like multiple parts in this. I could spend an hour debating like what really happened.
Oh, for sure. This podcast might go long.
It's going to be a long one.
That's what she said.
Roger, what a waste of time. Oof. You watch cliched characters argue until the next attack of laughable special effects. 1 star.
Wow, he hit him with a laughable special effects.
Okay, I will say the special effects are dated for the time. I mean, dude, this was in the 80s.
Yeah, well, not dated for the time. They're dated for now's time.
This time, yeah.
Yeah, but dude, if you think about it back then, I mean, I still actually think they look cool.
Oh, I think they look awesome, but there is some hokey stuff. Like there is one where Windows is getting torn up and you can tell it's a dummy through in there. You know what I mean?
But to hit the thing with a 1 star, that's bold.
Well,
that's bold, my friend.
I'll tell you what, I had to dig far to find that one.
Yeah.
That was like page 6 of reviews. That's enough of everybody else's impressions. It's time for our initial impressions. And for this one, I brought a special friend. Look who came to the podcast.
A nice fine bottle of J&B.
This is the smallest one they had.
Yeah,
I was like, I do not need a bottle this big, but it's all they had. And I'm like, I have to get it for the pod.
We don't typically drink hard alcohol at all. But dude, Daniel hit me up and I'm like, yeah, this just fits.
I mean, we have to.
For our boy Mac.
I was going to say RIP, but he's alive.
Well, we don't know.
Is he?
Yeah.
Or is he?
The great debate.
All right, let's get into our initial impressions. What did you think about The Thing?
So I feel like I've seen this before, but I don't know that I've ever watched the whole thing. But I went into the movie thinking it was honestly going to be kind of boring. That was my thought of it. Dude, this thing far exceeded my expectations. The environment's great. I love what they do by putting you in Antarctica when you're like isolated. They throw this mysterious thing. You can't even describe what the heck it is. I would say I honestly didn't scare me that much, but what really makes this movie so good is just the fact that it's like a whodunit or who's infected. You never know who's infected, when they're infected, and you can like watch this thing a million times over and probably still find new things. I would say this thing, like I said, exceeded my expectations. I thought it was a great watch. It's fun to watch. I could watch it again right now if we wanted to. And it's already going on top of like my all-time best horror movies.
You know what this movie did to me that rarely happens? It's one of those movies that it captured something the first time I watched it that I'm always trying to get back. Like every time I watch it, there's almost like a warm feeling or like, I don't know. I just enjoy being like placed in this environment and watching it.
There's something just special about the movie.
Like it's one of those, I go on Reddit and stuff and like, hey, is there movies like The Thing that I can watch? Because I want to get the feeling I had watching this.
To me, it's similar to like The Shining. When I watch it, it's different though. The Shining to me was like horrifying. This, I just like really enjoy the movie.
And the characters are cool. Like I enjoy being around them. I enjoy the setting. Like you said, dude, you can like feel the cold. You're isolated in Antarctica. There's weird stuff going on, but at the same time, you're kind of getting to know the characters and you're hanging out with them.
And here's the thing, you almost have to watch this movie multiple times to even like get a feel for the characters because there's so many, there's 12 different characters, right?
Oh, correct.
So you don't even really know who you're looking at in the beginning, but then after you watch it a few times, then you start to get your fill. I mean, I still don't even remember all their names, to be honest.
I think it's mandatory to watch this like 3 times. At least the first time, you're not even going to think about it in a deep level. The second time you're starting to catch on to like, you start questioning things. Third time, you're almost watching this completely different. You're like trying to analyze, okay, wait, who's missing from this scene? Where did that guy go? Who got turned here? Like, where's Blair at? You know what I mean?
It's just that mystery that makes this so good to me. A mystery horror. I guess that's like my sweet spot. I didn't know that till now.
Yeah, it almost turns into like Clue, you know?
Yeah, but
who did it? Where?
And to build on top of that, the fact that The Thing itself is crazy. Like, I don't even know what that is. No one knows what it is. What does the thing even look like?
That's a great question. And I have something we're going to talk about at the end. Where it came from and what it really is up for debate.
Well, there is no answer to it. A lot of the questions, which makes everything so good, because we love speculating. Like, that is what we love to do.
Okay, basically, we're going to break this entire movie down, like, in depth, go over a lot of stuff as we do that. At the very end, we're going to hit, like, the major questions people have and give our answers on it. Like, was Child's a thing? Was Mac the thing? What would happen with the blood? Like, there's a ton of things that I've even, like, haven't heard people speculate that I have questions about.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. Dude, you know what is so good about this? We talked about rewatching it. Just the beginning of the movie is so different the second time you watch it compared to the first time. It's completely different.
Yeah, I think I explained that.
Well, it sounded better when I said it.
It's absolutely true. And guess what? When you guys listen to this review, I bet you're going to find out things that you didn't even think about.
I hope so.
Well, let's get into it. The film begins, and this starts off crazy because we are in outer space. And there just so happens to be a flying saucer headed for Earth. Those special effects may not have held up.
No, but we get what they were going for there.
Yeah, so that's where we're beginning this journey on a spaceship that seems to be like out of control, kind of careening towards Earth.
Dude, and there's questions about that. When do we talk about that?
I'm glad you have those questions. We're going to talk about that at the end.
Of course I have questions. We've all watched the YouTube videos. There's so many questions. I'm not kidding. You can question every single thing.
I like how it's funny. I don't think you realize how many times you say thing, but it works because that's the movie.
Yeah.
That's the only way to describe it.
Yeah, well, you have to, because there is nothing concrete about the alien, except for it's an alien.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
We cut to Antarctica, winter of 1982. And then here's where you see the Carpenter's just masterful use of like the score come in. It's that ominous tones. Kind of reminded me of like Escape from New York, same kind of tones.
Yeah, it's isolating. It feels ominous and isolating. There you go.
A helicopter's flying in and we just see like how desolate this place is. Like it's nothing but like white powder everywhere. Cold, empty. It's Antarctica. You know what I mean? But there's one thing out in the snow, and that just so happens to be an Alaskan Malamute. Did you know that was the dog?
No, and I don't really care.
It's like a wolf Malamute mix. Anyways, it looks like a wolf running through the snow. And you may be wondering like, okay, there's a helicopter, there's a dog. What's the relation? Well,
yeah, maybe they lost their dog. They're just trying to go pick it up.
it is confusing the first time you watch it because at first you think they're sport hunting. At least I did.
Well, yeah, because the guy's shooting at the helicopter like Rambo.
Right. There's a dude that's on the side and he's got a rifle and he's just taking shots at this dog and they're chasing it down.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, he's got a rifle in his hand and he is not getting near this dog.
No, horrible shot. But I got to be honest, it'd be hard to shoot out of a helicopter. But I also was like, helicopters can hover. Why don't you just sit back a little like behind the dog instead of they kept doing these sweeping like past.
Well, because the dog's very smart, I'd imagine.
Maybe one of the smartest dogs ever, actually.
Yeah, and then I started thinking too, I'm like, dude, this guy's shots are just freaking awful, but he is a scientist probably. He probably is not trained on a weapon.
That's a good point. Now, as they're chasing this dog, we fly past a sign that says United States National Science Institute Station Number 4. Something interesting on this sign. Did you notice what was beneath that?
No.
There's a Smokey the Bear, and it has a very like strange safety warning. Smokey's standing there. He kind of actually looks like Alvin the Chipmunk, but that's whatever. The sign says, Smokey says, use your ashtrays. Keep Antarctica green. Do you understand that?
No, not at
Bro,
all.
I'm about to draw. This is how deep I go into these stupid movies, okay? I know what this means because I looked it up and I found an article in Time Magazine from 1957.
I'm like half impressed and half concerned.
Okay, hang with us, guys. This has nothing to do with the movie, but has everything to do with the movie. Apparently, in 1957, there was an argument over this runway on McMurdo Sound Runway. That's in Antarctica, right?
Sure.
The Navy wanted to mark the field with oil barrels so the planes could see the oil barrels and land.
Okay.
Air Force wanted to mark it with a double row of pine trees. I guess that's the way they do it back then. I don't know.
Okay, so a difference between barrels or trees?
Correct. And, it's like infighting between the two
departments, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Air Force Colonel Dixon Arnold ordered to plant 25 pine trees, to which the Navy ground crews had to plant these trees, even though this is the first pine trees ever planted in Antarctica, right?
Okay.
To add insult to the triumph, as they said, the airmen posted a sign showing Smokey the Bear pointing at the snow in the 25th tree. On that sign, it said, use ashtrays, keep Antarctica green. In other words, like it's almost like a joke, right? Like because it's the only green thing in Antarctica. It's kind of like a joke, inside joke.
Okay.
That's where that came from.
That's the payoff?
That's the payoff.
I mean, Daniel, I think I just want to cut that.
No way, dude. That is such a weird piece of history.
It is, but it has nothing to do with the movie.
Oh, absolutely not. But it's a weird sign.
I feel like you baited us.
Well, I guarantee there's people that saw that. They're like, that makes no sense. Why would it say keep Antarctica green?
Okay, I will keep it in because that is an interesting piece of history.
Thank you.
Yes.
And it's an article from like the 50s from Time Magazine.
I'm just concerned about the way in which you spend your time.
That's not the only one I do in here.
Oh
Okay, that's
God.
the only history. I was looking at paperwork and some of the shots and I had to zoom in and do some stuff.
Bro, you went deep.
I did. All right, so we learned about the sign. It's talking about the base camp. Let's just jump over to the camp. Here's where we meet our main cast of characters. And the first one we meet is old Snake Plissken.
Dude, and I feel like we did a disservice not mentioning him in the intro because, dude, he's also like my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, dude, he's great. So his name in the movie is like McCready, Mac. I call him Mac in the movie. I think it's McCready.
Yeah, I call him Mac. And dude, he is like the coolest dude in the world.
He drinks a lot of alcohol, if that's cool to you.
I just think he's a fun character.
Oh, he's great, dude. I mean, I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan. I like him in all the movies, and apparently John Carpenter was too.
Oh, you're right, because he's in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, another one of my favorites. That is a great, corny movie. Love it.
Yeah, great, like, B movie to me. I don't know. It was
Dude,
fun.
if you guys are bored one night, watch Big Trouble in Little China. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about old Mac. And Mac's a little different than the other crew members. He actually ends up staying, like, his spot he stays is, like, away from the main base.
One might say isolated.
A little bit isolated. Now, when we first meet him, he's playing the chess wizard.
And this is like a metaphor for the whole movie, right?
This is like a metaphor for the whole movie because as he's playing this game against the computer ends up cheating and beating him. Too much, Mac grabs his drink of J&B, pours it in the computer and breaks the whole thing. So basically what we're seeing here is like the computer is cheating, like Mac isn't able to win and he doesn't really play by the rules either. And he basically is like, you know what? If you're going to cheat, I'm saying this because it's like a metaphor for the movie, like we said. Right. I'm trying to build this into your guys' head, you know? The computer doesn't play by the rules. He's going to do something wild to fry the system.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if I'm not going to win, I'm taking us both down.
He'll take them all down if he needs to. Fun fact here, this is the only woman's voice in the entire movie.
Oh, that is funny. I guess there aren't any women at all.
Which brings me to another question. Now, this base is filled with 12 dudes.
Oh, God, no.
One woman voice. How many dudes have to the chess wizard?
I can't put that in.
You have to. Let me ask you a question, Darren. I want your honest answer, okay? How many dudes do you think have to the chess wizard?
I mean, I don't think the voice is going to do it for him, to be honest with you.
Back to the helicopter. It's chasing the wolf. Again, we pass the sign. I know I say wolf weird, or something I say wolf.
Yeah, I was like, you said wolf.
Yeah, I say wolf sometimes. It is what it is. It's a dog.
It's cute. It's cute.
So the helicopter's chasing the wolf into this camp, right? The dudes in the camp can like hear the helicopter coming. They go outside to see what it's doing. All they can basically do is identify that it's a Norwegian helicopter.
Again, they're hearing the gunshots, the dog's running. It's chaos.
Now, again, you mentioned how bad of a shot these guys were. They're not able to hit this dog. So they pull up a little trick because they have incendiary charges. Pull it out. They pull these, it looks like a grenade, but like a canister type. Pulls the pin out and they start dropping these and these like just explosions in the snow.
Yeah. So at the first time you're watching this, you're like, what the heck are these guys doing? They're like insane.
Yeah, I legit just thought these were sport hunters. And I'm like, oh, they're insane sport hunters.
Yeah, you know what? That was my first thought too.
Well, the dog ends up running into the camp. First thing it does is it sees Bennings, one of our characters we'll meet, jumps up on him, and it seems to like really want to lick his face. Did you notice this?
Yes, because that's such an odd thing for a dog to do who's being chased, right? Like, why would the dog just jump on someone and just start licking him near the face?
It seemed like an excessive amount of licking was going on. But really, like when you first watch it, you're kind of like, oh, it's just like a really friendly dog.
Yeah, it's like, oh, someone's trying to kill me. Please help.
Yes, help me, please.
When in reality, that's not at all what's happening.
No, it's not. Now, this gets freaking wild. This is like a crazy opening scene. Helicopter lands, and you think they're going to get out and they're going to be like talking like, okay, just like a friendly talk, like, hey, we're trying to kill this dog, whatever.
The problem is they do speak different languages, so.
That is, but they're not, they're going about this in all the wrong ways. So the first thing that happens, one dude jumps out, pulls out another incendiary grenade, pulls the tab out, goes to throw it. It's wet out here. It's slippery. It's slick. That grenade goes flying backwards behind him. The other dude sees it and he's like, oh, no, whatever they say. I don't know how they say it.
Offensive.
He takes off running. The dude who threw it turns around. This is a horrible idea. Huge mistake was made. Decides he's going to dive on top of it and try to dig it out of the snow.
Okay, so first of all, an all-time F up, this guy. I mean, I don't know what the heck he was thinking. I guess he was trying to save the helicopter because they thought maybe that was the only way for them to get out. But at this point, it's like, bro, that thing's down in the snow. You're not going to get there in time.
Even if it was sitting on top of the snow, debatable if you have time.
Yeah, so by the way, it blows that guy and the helicopter up. The weirdest part to me, though, watching, I'm like, his buddy didn't care at all.
Well, I was confused. They look identical. It's also, that's the thing in this movie. It's hard to identify people because they're always wearing a bunch of gear.
Yeah, at one point, I thought it was the same person.
I thought, and I still kind of think this could be true. It doesn't really make sense. I thought the dude who threw the grenade ran, and then the other dude came to try to dig it out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, honestly. Who knows?
Either way, one of them went, 100 feet in there, vaporized.
Yeah.
The other one's alive.
Yeah, and he's still hunting the dog. Didn't seem to care at all that his buddy blew up.
No, not at all. Well, he's on a mission here, and it's understandable. So when you figure it out. So the other Norwegian dude grabs his rifle and he starts heading into the camp. Now, everyone at this point is standing out in the front, all the guys that live here, right?
Yeah, we got like an active shooter situation.
Right. But he walks up and he does try to say something to him.
But it's not in English.
That's correct. It is in Norwegian. So everyone's just kind of standing there like, I don't know what you're saying. The Norwegian guy realizes his words aren't getting through. So he decides he does what he has to do and just takes a snipe at the dog. The problem is he misses the dog. Again, not the greatest shot. He hits Bennings in the leg, which drops him down. And then he starts chasing the dog through the camp.
So you see, it's like, okay, he didn't really seem to be wanting to hurt the people, but he also didn't really seem to care that he hit Bennings.
Didn't seem like a big deal that you just shot a man.
All right.
Well, he doesn't make it far into camp because old Gary, the commander of the camp, is in like a room. He sees this happening, breaks out a window, takes a one shot, catches that Norwegian lacking. He's dead.
Headshot.
Headshot.
So can we break down what just happened?
Okay, let's start off with what the Norwegian actually said. Do you know?
Yeah, but I don't remember.
Okay, his exact words when translated were, "Get the hell away from that thing. That's not a dog. It's some sort of thing. It's imitating a dog. It isn't real. Get away, you idiots."
I like that he threw the "get away, you idiots."
I know, like, dudes, that thing's about to lick your face. Get away from it.
Well, you could have said that in English. I'd be like, what the heck do you mean it's not a dog?
Yeah, it looks like a dog.
It doesn't matter what you say. No one's going to believe it. So I get the shooting the dude.
But when you know what he says, it hits different.
Oh, well, now the whole intro changed, dude, because that's like the wildest start to a movie.
Oh, when I remember like watching it the first time, I'm like, what is this movie? That was like, made no sense to me.
I mean, especially the dude blowing himself up. I was like, I still don't know why that was in there, but it's kind of funny.
I mean, it's kind of dumb. Like, he threw the grenade behind him. Who's going to turn around and dig for that grenade?
Dude, but it's just panic. It's like, what happened to them at their base?
And we'll get to that.
Oh, well, I guess I kind of know. I have questions on the thing and like how it takes people over and what it's really trying to do.
I mean, okay, well, we're going to break all that down because there are a lot of questions to be asked.
So are we holding that?
I think we'll hold that till later.
Okay.
For now, let's meet Windows. So Windows is the comms guy. He's trying to get out on the radio after this whole incident goes down. The problem is the radio's been down for a couple weeks. So in like Antarctica, there's like these little isolated bases. So there's other people around. They just can't get a hold of any of them.
Yeah, and I imagine there's a fair amount of distance between them. So I guess the only way they would is if they took the chopper, because they do have a chopper.
They do, but we don't really take it to find any of these bases.
No.
Only one, and a spaceship.
We'll get there.
Okay, let me just introduce you to like the whole cast and we'll get to know them because we're going to be saying the names as we go.
Yeah, and if you've watched this movie a bunch of times, you might know these names. If this is your first time introduced to the movie, don't stress it because there's a lot of names.
There are. First, you guys met Mac. He's a helicopter pilot. Kurt Russell, he's also a Vietnam vet. He wears like a crazy, ridiculous Yosemite Sam hat.
Yeah.
Like this thing is gigantic.
Yeah, and he's kind of like the leader of the group.
He's not officially the leader. He's like an unofficial leader that turns into the official leader.
Right.
We have Childs, played by Keith David. He's the mechanic. Dr. Blair, this is confusing. This took me the second watching to understand this. There's two doctors. Dr. Blair, he's the microbiologist, played by Wilford Brimley. Then there's Dr. Cooper, who's the physician. He has a nose ring.
Right, okay. I remember them by what happens. One guy got a far different result than the other.
Yes.
One of the craziest kills in the movie.
Dude, it's gnarly.
It's great.
Then we have Knowles. He's the cook. He's like a chill, cool dude, rollerblades around. Clark, he's the dog handler. He's a little like rough around the edges. Don't really get a good feel on him.
Yeah, he's a little dry. Almost seems like he's possessed the whole time. Or what do we say? Not possessed?
Infected?
Yeah.
Assimilated, one might even say.
Assimilated?
Assimilated.
I'm belling from that one.
We have MT Gary. He is actually the commander of the station. He's the one who shot the Norwegian. Bennings, he's a meteorologist. He's the one who got shot by the Norwegian. Palmer's the assistant mechanic. And apparently he can also fly helicopters. At one point, he kind of, I don't know if it was a joke, but he said he would take them out as well.
I know. I heard that too. And I'm like, is that real or no?
He's an assistant mechanic. He might be able to. It'd be smart to have a couple guys who could fly.
Yeah, and it seems like he's kind of like a jokester in the beginning.
Almost a little like burnout-ish. Like maybe did too much acid back in the day.
Yeah.
Windows, obviously the radio man. Fuchs, assistant biologist, smart guy, likable character.
Seems to be interested in what's going on around them.
Maybe too interested. And then we have Vance Norris. He's a geophysicist. I honestly didn't really even notice him until later on.
I didn't notice him until I realized I probably needed to notice him.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. All right. So back to the story. Dr. Cooper decides that he wants to go to the Norwegian camp to see like what happened there. Maybe there's survivors there, or maybe they're just, I don't know. They want to figure out why these guys came here in the helicopter. They have no idea, right?
Well, it's fair. It's like, dude, something really crazy just happened. We should probably check on the others over there.
Yeah, they can't get him on the radio. So it's like, we should just go see what's up. He recruits Mac to take him in the helicopter. Again, the helicopter pilot. It makes sense, right? They jump in, they take off. And again, you just see how like empty this place is.
Yeah, it's just like a small little, I don't know, almost like Star Wars base. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little isolated compound.
Yeah, just surrounded by snow, dude. You just get that feeling that you're alone. And you're stuck. I mean, honestly, my feeling now watching is like, you're stuck here. You can't go anywhere and you got to deal with this problem.
And there is a problem brewing.
A big problem.
Well, speaking of the problem, you may be wondering what that old dog is up to. The dog seems to be getting a lay of the land, and it's roaming the halls. And I just have to say, this dog is amazing.
I honestly think this dog should have gotten an Academy Award.
The dog's name is Jed, and they even all praise like how good of an actor it is. It may be the best actor in this movie.
Yeah, I'm not joking. There's just times where I'm watching it and I'm like, dude, this thing's an alien.
I didn't know a dog could convey emotions the way this dog does.
Dude, it's crazy. Honestly.
It really is. Like you can see it, and it's like you can see the way it's thinking, you know?
Okay, shortly he goes into like the kennel area with other dogs, and I feel like this dog is way different than the other dogs.
He's a different breed.
I mean, he did a great job.
Great. This time, though, the dog is in the hall, and you can tell it's thinking, and it goes to one room.
Well, I would almost say it's also watching.
It is watching, and it goes into one room, and it starts to head in, but then it seems to change its mind, turns, goes into another room, and all we see is a silhouette on the wall, and it fades to black.
Okay, so obviously we know this is the thing. This dog has been taken over. Another thing, too, I wanted to say, I love the music choice. The Superstitions playing in the background while the dog's walking around.
Oh, that is a nice touch.
Yeah, it was great. But, dude, this scene right here is what kicks off everything now. Who was in that room?
Okay, so the first thing, originally, Carpenter was going to put Palmer in that room. I don't know if he meant it as the actor or what, but Palmer's like silhouette was too identifiable. Do you know who they put in there?
I absolutely do, because I've watched a ton of stuff about this movie. It's our boy Dick Warlock from Halloween.
Yeah, if you don't know, he played Michael Myers in Halloween 2, also the shortest Myers. What I didn't know about him is apparently he was Kurt Russell's stunt double for nearly 25 years.
Dude, had no clue. And also has the best name ever.
I mean, Dick Warlock. Come on.
I mean, we don't need to say anything else. You guys get it.
So whoever's room this dog goes into is assumed to be the first to be assimilated. Who that is been a wild debate.
Dude, and again, there are no 100% right answers, but we're just going to tell you probably what our best guess is.
Yeah, I have who I think it is. And we'll at the very end, we'll break all this down.
Oh, I'm going to be 100% honest. I was going for the, I'm going to try to figure this thing out angle. And I got so overwhelmed that I now just do not care. And I'm here for the ride.
I've done it too. You go too deep and you get to a point where it turns into a loop and you start over because it all depends on how people are assimilated.
Dude, and there's theories on the different ways you can be assimilated.
And the levels of assimilation.
Yes, it is insane.
And we'll break that down later. For now, let's go back to Dr. Cooper and Mac because they've arrived at the Norwegian camp. The first warning sign is that as they pull up, there's like a plume of black smoke. So things aren't going well here.
I mean, clearly, these people left that site. They probably did some damage before they left. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it seemed like a lot of those incendiary charges were used.
Interesting. Do you know what this camp was, by the way?
Yes, this is actually the original or the normal Camp 4 after they blew it up at the end of this movie. Spoiler alert, you guys know it already happened.
It is what it is.
They filmed at that location.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. So they're just reusing the same location.
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
It just looks like a trash heap now.
Yeah, no big deal.
No, it's cool.
Cooper and Matt go. They start investigating. Camp appears to be deserted. Doors are open. The place is like completely frozen over.
And it's a kind of an eerie vibe going in there because it's like empty and cold.
You know what's interesting I just thought about?
No.
The Norwegians just flew over here after this dog, but this place has been frozen over for a while.
That's actually a good point. How long were they in the helicopter? Because it seems like no one's been here for like a week.
Yeah. Huh. Where have they been?
Just chilling in the Chopper? I don't know. Yeah, good point.
I mean, there's fuel problems. You can't just fly that around all day.
I don't know. I almost said, were they infected?
That's possible, dude.
You could almost make an argument they were infected. They were both the thing hunting another thing. There is an argument. I'm telling you, it gets like that crazy.
That is possible.
Yeah, that is one of the possibilities. I don't believe that, but it's out there.
I'm just saying, this base is really frozen over. It doesn't look like anybody's been here for a long time. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Cooper and Mac walk down the hall and they first spot a red axe buried in a wall covered in blood. My first thought, Jack's here.
Mr. Torrance?
Mr. Torrance. Could you imagine he makes an appearance?
I would just love that, yeah.
A little blend of the two.
I mean, just throw The Shining in anything and I'm down.
It wasn't Jack, though. It's just an axe in the wall.
Well,
it was made 2 years after The Shining. I would like to say they took some inspiration from it.
Yeah, but you also don't have to tell them it wasn't Jack. I think we all agree Jack's not in Antarctica because he's dead.
Unless he's been assimilated. Just saying. Ooh, maybe the alien's in The Shining somewhere.
We're not going to go there. We're going to keep going back to the show here.
All right. They end up following a blood trail, which leads them to a chair, which appears to have a frozen man who's turned away from them. As they approach, the first thing they spot is his wrists seem to be slit, and the blood has now formed little blood sickles.
That's interesting. I didn't even know that's what I was looking at. It was hard to tell.
Well, now that you know, how do you feel?
Well, now it's interesting, and it makes sense because he didn't want to get turned.
Correct.
Yeah. Only one way out, I guess.
I guess, but I get the wrist, but the other problem is that when they turn him around, his throat seems to be slit as well.
I mean, I guess you just do both. I don't know.
It's a large gash, like, I don't know, but the effects look awesome. Like, he looks totally frozen, huge, like, hole in his neck.
Yeah, dude, again, all the effects look great in this.
So we're getting a little taste of what is happening, and it's like getting a little intense. You know what I mean? Like something crazy has happened to these people.
Yeah, because I guess if you're thinking it from like Kurt Russell's perspective, so far they don't really know anything that's gone on other than that there was some crazy people shooting at a dog.
I mean, at this point, you would assume that these people like murdered their whole camp.
Yeah, you would think they're just like two psychopaths that
went like stir crazy because they plant that seed, like being isolated for that long, people can lose their mind a little.
Yeah, which it happens, dude. Again, hey, you know what? The Shining, where he was isolated in the snow, Jack went crazy.
That shit happens. Yeah. The doc ends up going around gathering up like some research papers. They grab some tapes that some filming the Norwegians have done. And that's where Mac discovers something very strange. He finds this like huge block of ice that seems to be like hollowed out. Almost looks like a mummy tomb made out of ice or something.
Yeah, at first watch, I didn't know what this was because it is interesting, like that they put this there.
I thought it was like a hole that went down to something. I didn't realize it was like a block of ice.
Yeah, what it is something was in a block of ice and they carved it out to get this thing out, is what I'm assuming.
Correct.
Yeah.
Did you notice the wiggling icicle?
Is this a euphemism?
No. No, I noticed
Hey, I'm not falling for this. No, I did not see the wiggling icicle, Dan.
There's one icicle that just catches my eye that just seems a little loose. It's like wiggling the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Just something I wanted to see.
Cool.
I just point, I don't know, it's things I notice.
Sure.
So the doc is thinking like, hey, they must have found some type of fossil. They must have dug it out of this block of ice. But where is it? And we don't have to wait long because as soon as they leave the compound, they run across it. And it just so happens to be burned up pretty badly. There's like multiple of kerosene containers. And this thing is like grotesque. And they don't really show us yet. But you can see like bones and stuff. And it just looks odd.
It looks like you can't identify really what the heck you're looking at. And that's with a lot of these things in the movie.
Yeah. And nothing's ever quite the same either.
Yeah, well, and you probably know this, but they did that on purpose. Every time you see the thing, it looks different, which is great because it makes sense of what the thing represents.
Everything.
A lot of different things.
Everything is the thing.
Yeah.
Doc and Mac load up the creature and they take off back to the camp. The interesting thing, as soon as they land, there's somebody watching. You see our old friend Jed there, the dog. Jed's his real actor name. He's sitting in the window and he's just intently staring and seeing what is going on.
I like that too. And especially now that we know, obviously, the dog is the thing. You do see how smart it is. And before it even acts, it's always watching. I mean, it did already act because I think someone's already been turned. I mean, here's the thing too, though, by the way. At this point, you don't even know how many people have turned. We know one, or we think one, It could have been multiple.
You kind of have to end up just going back to like what the movie is showing you and just go with that. You know what I mean? Like the hints the movie's giving us.
But the answers are in everything they're not showing you.
I know.
That's the truth too.
Dude, it's a brutal web. It's a spiral.
You can see how it's easy to get lost.
It is. They unload the creature. They take it to the lab. The doc does an autopsy on it. And this thing looks freaking crazy. So it looks alienish, right? Like it's got these weird alien limbs, but the head is the most interesting part because it looks like two heads that are like trying to almost merge or ripping apart from each other.
Yeah, when I look at it, a lot of times it reminds me of like insect-ish, right? The legs and junk. But yeah, then you see that it seems that there's like almost two faces that have been pushed and pulled together. It's weird.
Almost like maybe it was trying to create a man.
I know. Do we have to pretend like we don't know? Yeah, this thing was morphing and it's caught in like mid-morph.
Yeah, frozen in that space of time. Actually burned, but it looks frozen.
I have a question I'm dying to ask, and there is no answer to it, but I just like have to get it off my soul here.
Okay.
After the thing takes someone, does it then like go for another person and it creates a different version of that thing? So if let me say this in a different way.
I already know what I've already gone down this. We have two dogs.
Say it takes over two dogs and it's thinged them, right? It gave them the wiggling icicle. One might say. No, so they're both the thing now, right? It's assimilated into two different things. Does at one point it just go back into one, or is it trying to keep spreading out into different ones?
This is confusing. It seems that it can infect you and you can transform into the thing, but it also seems like it absorbs you and then it grows you out of it. And then there would be the original thing, right?
I got a little bit lost on that, Dan. What?
Because as we go through, we're going to have to touch this at the end, because as you go through, it does the assimilation differently at different times.
Which is, again, probably by design. Okay, here's my point, though, and the reason I asked the question, because I think this thing could be terrible at doing its work of assimilating. Because it went to the Norwegians, and only one thing came out. Because you would think it'd be like, if it did a good job, we got like 5 different things, like a pack of dogs coming, right? But only one made it out. And at the end of this, we might be in that same type of scenario where if it was more strategic about doing its infecting, it could have got everyone if it just wasn't so like quick to turn people and turn things.
But there's also the flip side, that is it perfecting the assimilation and really it only wants one to survive.
Yeah, and each time it gets a little bit better and it gets rid of the others that didn't work so well.
We got to get back to the movie.
Oh my God. There we go. Dude, you could go in a freaking rabbit hole.
Yep.
Or a thing hole.
Yep. No, that doesn't sound good.
No.
Okay, so the doc's cutting this thing up, pulls out some organs. And the interesting part here is the organs are all human organs. So it appears normal-ish.
Yeah, but it doesn't look human, but yeah.
No, but I did like the touch of like pulling out. He like cuts it open and pulls these organs out. It looks kind of gnarly.
I mean, just how bizarre the idea of this thing where it will transform into a human. But when you see it in its mid stage, it's bizarre looking. Because I guess the idea, I don't know if you're going to touch it, is that this thing represents everything it's like infected before or that it's assimilated before.
Right. And we don't even know where this thing's been.
Yeah, this thing could have been infecting things from millions of planets from millions of years ago, right?
We don't know.
And what it started off originally is the biggest question. Who knows what this thing is?
Exactly. Let's get over to the rec room and let's bring the vibes to a little chill level, because now
dude, I'm overwhelmed.
Now
I'm having a mental breakdown.
Now we're playing a little poker game, but the problem is Bennings is sitting there and the dog brushes by him, kind of startles him. I actually thought he might have gotten bit here.
Yeah, he did react as if he got nipped or nicked or something.
Yeah, he was startled. So he kind of like jumps and he looks back and he's like, hey, Clark's the dog guy. Put this thing with others, because they're at a camp. They have like sled dogs. I take it. It's like, take him, put him with all the other dogs. To which Clark's like, fine, I'll do it. He walks him down to the dog kennel, which is down this log hall. I didn't mention this yet, but this place, they do it on purpose. It is kind of like Shining-ish, where you never really understand the layout of the building.
No, it's just like a cut to a different location. Yeah, you're not walking through the location from point A to point B.
Right. So you never like understand where in perspective to like other people you are a lot of times. Clark walks the dog down the hall into the kennel, opens it up, lets the dog go in, and here's where you start seeing this dog's behavior is just a little different because first of all, it's very hesitant to go in the cage. The other dogs are just chilling, laying around. It kind of like looks around and then it's just like waiting. And then Clark has to kind of be like, all right, come on, go in. And then it goes in, sits in the very middle of the cage and just stares straight at the wall.
I guess that's a good point is like, the dog's positioning was kind of weird because it's like just sitting straight to where it's got a view of everything. Doesn't seem like a normal spot for a dog to go.
No, and there's no interactions with other dogs. It's just like sits down and stares and waits.
I mean, but I'm even watching the other dog acting, which is pretty good because they're kind of like, this thing seems a little different.
Yeah, we're not sure if we like this thing.
Yeah.
Well, Clark shuts the lights off. He leaves the room. And that's where the other dogs start to notice this one's not quite like us. And they start growling. They're not liking it. Something's freaking them out a little.
Yeah. And this is where it gets crazy.
This gets freaking nuts because the dog, the thing dog, decides it's going to open its face up.
And that face rips open to like a shape of a flower.
Well, it's like it looks like Demogorgon-ish.
Trying to identify what it is impossible.
Well, yeah, it's like, it opens up. It's got this, and then it has like this long tongue that's like flopping around.
Yeah, it always seems like there's a lot of like external, I don't know, rope-like things flopping around.
Tentacle-ish.
Yeah. And those things are going all over. At some point, it's shooting like some sort of fluid on the dog.
I think it's alien. Yeah, so like you said, in its fur, these tentacles like pop out of it and start flopping all around. It grows like spider legs pop out of it and go to the ground. So it's getting some different mobility as it's switching forms here. Okay, now you may think these dogs are just gonna have to sit here and take it, but there's one badass dog.
Dude, a hero amongst the pack.
Dude, this dog jumps on the fence and uses its teeth like wire cutters. I don't know how it did this, but it did. It jumps up, starts biting at the fence, and it's popping chains off.
I'm going to be honest. I found this a little distracting. I'm like, what is going on with this dog?
Like, teeth don't work like this. You could never do this.
I think the reason they have that chain fencing there is because dogs can't just rip it apart with their teeth like this.
Dude, it was like chomping and creating a hole.
Well, and I'm like, okay, this dog is like clearly special. This thing's getting out.
Yeah.
No, he just got shot with fluid.
Yeah, he gets hit by the pink jet fluid, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Now, Clark hears this commotion. He runs back into the cages. As soon as he opens it up, and all of a sudden, by the way, like the light gets shut off at this point, so he can't see anything. He opens up the door. One dog just comes like barreling out of there, like as soon as it can.
I did like it because it's like, that's what I would do too. It's like, I don't care who opens the door. I'm running them over and I'm out.
Yeah, I cannot be in this situation anymore.
Dude, what happened in here? I don't ever want to talk about again. I'm gone.
At the same time, Mac, he's over in the kitchen. He's slamming beers, common theme. And he hears like this commotion going on. So he runs over to the fire alarm, knows something's wrong, just pulls it, sets off the alarm, which actually kind of threw me for a second because it looked like he was like looking at something. I don't know why he pulled it like very fast for not really knowing what's going on.
I also thought that was interesting because it seemed like he was a distance from the noise and it just like, it seemed like an overreaction to pull the fire alarm. Now in hindsight, we know that was obviously the right decision, but how would he really know what was going on? And then I'm like, was he already infected?
It's a thought.
I mean, you just got to put it out there.
Maybe he wants to seem like he wants to alert everyone and bring them in there. I don't know. Mac ends up making it over to the dog cage. As soon as he gets there, he sees kind of what's going on. He's like, hey, tell Childs, go get the flamethrower.
I did think it was funny because I watched one of these documentaries or something about it, and they said a lot of the stuff that was here is stuff that would be at a science base or whatever. They don't know where the flamethrower came from. That's not something that's normally around.
You know what? I buy it, though, because it's like if you need to melt snow fast, that seems to be an effective way.
Is it?
I would think so.
I mean, it seems like a dangerous way to melt snow.
I would like a flamethrower if I'm stuck in Antarctica.
I mean, what are you
saying.
trying to melt, really?
I don't know. Stuff gets frozen. Doors get frozen. Equipment. Like, you need, like, I don't know, snowplow. You want to, like, I don't know, unfreeze something?
Yeah, all right, that's
it.
fair. All right.
Mac opens the cage, and we see what this dog has now turned into, which I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a hunk of, like, flesh.
Yeah,
but now it has like a slimy dog alien form.
Yeah, you're seeing parts of the dog kind of in this junk, and it's like, oh my God, like, what is it doing?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's transforming. And that's the thing. There's like multiple dogs around too. And like you show one, dude, it's so disgusting. They show one dog like in the corner. It's just like covered in slime, almost like like a baby who just came out. You know what I'm saying though?
A slime baby.
Yeah, a slime baby in the corner. The other dog's kind of being eaten. It's like these poor dogs, but it's like just gnarly looking.
Yeah, like one has like tentacles being jabbed into it and stuff. Well, Max sees this and he does what, I don't know, I think what all of us would do. It's so sad to say, you got to start killing some of these things.
Dude, the poor one dog got shot in the chest. It's not funny, but it just made me laugh because it's like kind of unnecessary.
Well, he's like, it's being held up by tentacles and then he just takes a shot like,
yeah, it's like, poor dog.
Well, Clark sees this and it bothered him too. He's the dog guy and he like tackles Mac, like, don't do that. And while he does that, the alien sees his time to shine, grows gigantic monster claws, which I want to know where like he assimilated that from.
Oh, dude, yeah, I got to see a movie about that thing.
No kidding. Reaches up and like blows a hole in the ceiling. And even more terrifying, he now starts to pull up his body. And this thing looks so freaky because he's pulling it up and it's got these little legs and it's like this hunk of meat that's like trying to climb up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so gnarly.
Terrifying looking.
Also, another point of contention. A lot of people think this thing escaped. Part of it escaped. And I can understand why, because it's confusing.
Well, no, I think something did escape.
Okay, we're going to have to talk about it. We'll finish this and we'll get to it.
Well, I would say you're led to believe something escaped.
Okay, we'll talk about it, but we gotta explain what happened. So Child shows up with that flamethrower. He looks in the cage. Now he sees this mass. Again, it looks like it changed again, where it has this like large eyeball. And he's like, I don't even know what to do here. He starts to hesitate. Eventually, he's like, okay, pulls the trigger, torches the whole thing. Here's one of the problems I have in this movie, and it happens a lot. These guys extinguish these fires way too fast.
100%. Every time they did it, it drove me nuts. I'm like, dude, you gotta let this thing like burn for, I don't know, a good 2 minutes.
Oh, just let it. Yeah. What we've seen, you let that burn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't want to mess with that. Do you?
No. And I feel like they use these, they probably went through hundreds of extinguishers like they did to the helicopter. That thing's burning out in snow. Let it burn. They come over with extinguishers, put that out, and then they do it. And they do it like multiple times in this movie.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I'm like, dude, just let it burn. You're surrounded by snow. Who really cares? It'll go out eventually. Like,
right.
I'd rather deal with a fire problem than an alien problem.
Yes. And speaking of alien problems, okay. So they torch it. Everything's burned up that's in that room.
Can we also just say Clark hitting Mac to stop shooting the dog is an insane thing to do when you have an alien mass in front of you that's killing all the other dogs?
It's a problem, but he is very attached to the dogs.
I don't care.
Okay, so here's the question. Did the alien escape from that room?
Well, I obviously think it did because it looked like it blew a hole out the ceiling and then it got out.
I do not think it escaped. One, it's never spoken about. Like, if these guys thought that thing escaped, they would be talking about it still like, dude, we know one got out.
If they saw it, but it would seem like it'd be hard to miss two giant buff arms crawling out of the top, right?
Yeah, I think this was just cut weird. Like, I think, and I believe I watched something or read on it that like they wanted to film more. They for time constraints or something. They didn't have like the whole shot.
Dude, that is a great point though, because if it did get out, you think that would be part of the storyline. Like, hey, we killed this one, but there's some other ones somewhere else we all need to be aware of.
Yeah, like it would be hard to even go to sleep at that point. You know, it's roaming around the compound. It's never spoken of. I don't think it's really supposed to be in the movie that it got out. People think it did. I just don't think that's true.
The way it looked, I'd say 100%. That's what I thought they were trying to lead us to believe. Interesting. I never even thought about that. You convinced me. I would say probably now it didn't.
The problem is they show it going up and like pulling into the ceiling. There's a delay before Childs comes with the extinguisher, or sorry, not extinguisher, the flamethrower. So it does appear as if like that thing had plenty of time to get out.
That is so interesting. Okay, so yeah, I buy it. And we also have to remember someone's already infected, at least one already to this point. So it's okay if it loses one, it's got another one around.
Yeah,
minimum.
So we're going with it did not escape.
Okay.
That's
But
my take.
you can believe whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I do think we have to break down really what happened. So when this alien came out and killed all the dogs or whatever, everyone else is there. So everyone now is seeing what's going on. And it sure looks like this thing is replicating dogs, right?
It does appear to be.
So now it's going to kind of put that in their heads like, hey, this thing can replicate. And then we're going to go down the path of like, who else may have been touched by this?
Correct.
Yes.
Blair grabs the alien, takes it back to the lab, does an autopsy, and this plays into, the way you get assimilated, but there is a lot of Blair with an eraser showing them parts, touching it with an eraser, and then touching his mouth.
I mean, whether he gets infected by that or not, it's an absolutely disgusting thing to do. That is a crazy thing to do.
Oh, it's so true.
Do you know what my favorite part of this is? And I don't know why. I love the way he describes the dog. That like it looks like a dog, but it's not. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he looks at the alien and he's like, this isn't dog.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's not dog. It's imitation.
Yeah.
I'll play it for you guys. I don't know why. I just love the way he delivers the line.
This, for instance, that's not dog. It's imitation. We got to it before it had time to finish.
Way better than your stupid sign stuff.
Blair explains that the creature imitates other creatures perfectly. And you got to remember, too, this is all theory.
So that's the funny thing. All the assumptions we build about this movie, it's all theories from the guys who are like kind of learning about it. And some things we're going to talk about are just like speculation from other people.
Right. So it's like nobody really knows, but we're going to go with this for the movie. The creature imitates other creatures. It replicates them, digests them, absorbs them, and I guess assimilates them. See, that's the thing. It's like from his point, it takes them in, it absorbs them, and then it processes them and like creates a replica.
But what about the thing it initially was? Like if the thing takes Daniel and then it replicates him, okay, so now you are the thing.
Let's make this easier. I'm the thing. You're not.
I like how that's what I said, but you just now made it your thing.
I replicate you. Am I still around?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would think you would
both,
be.
Yeah.
But the problem is that doesn't really play out in this.
It seems like sometimes it just absorbs them and becomes them.
Yeah, sometimes it like just gives up and it's like, I'm just going to be a thing monster now.
Right. I don't know.
That's the whole point of the movie, though. There aren't really rules.
Well, I don't know. The dog was the thing. It turned into the thing, and then it was replicating things. So it could, I guess it could go back, and it was, it was replicating dogs, but it was taking them over. It could go back to the original dog and have the other one.
Yeah, and we have to remember at this point, there are other things that have been replicated. Some of these people are things. So, dude, I think we just made it more confusing.
I think it can replicate multiple things. Like, I think that thing could have replicated all those dogs.
Dude, the problem I keep going back to is what is its purpose? Is it to just replicate and then so it has a world full of a million things? Or is it just for it all to just, I was going to say for it all to become one thing, but if you have a million things that are the same thing, I've said thing a million times. I'm backing out. I'm out.
Let's move on. All right. So Dr. Bennings gave us the rundown of what the thing is. Then he goes to the surviving dog. Remember, a dog escaped. I think it was only one dog. At one point they say dogs, but I thought there was only one.
Well, I feel like there's other dogs around because there are because they get killed, but I don't, I think there's different groups of dogs on the property.
Maybe there was. Anyways, he ends up taking a blood sample and then he asks Clark a very important question again, because at this point now the thoughts in your head, like if you're around this thing, you're susceptible to being assimilated by this thing. He asks Clark, when did you put that thing dog into the kennel? And Clark's like, well, late last night. It was pretty much running around all day. And this is where Bennings like starts to think like, we got us a huge problem. You now realize like you don't know who to trust.
Bennings is the doctor?
I know. I said the wrong name. I was saying Bennings was the doctor. It's confusing. There's 12. It's actually Dr. Blair. Bennings was the dude who got shot earlier.
Yeah, and by the way, we're going to mess up names, I'm sure. So, hey, give us some grace. We're not perfect. We never claimed to be.
No.
Back off.
Okay, I don't know where we left off. The main thing, again, like I said, the dog was running around the camp all day. It could have infected or assimilated anybody. Like Blair's freaking out because at this point, everyone could be the enemy.
Yeah, and this is what starts like the fun of the movie is you don't know who's infected, who's not, and it's just this mass paranoia.
Yes, the paranoia grows deep. You also don't even know, like, if they were assimilated, how do they act? guess what? I still don't even know.
Well, because they say it replicates perfectly, you can't even tell by the actions if they are the thing or not.
How perfect can it replicate? We'll talk about it later. Mac and some of the guys end up getting together and they get those tapes that they got from the Norwegians. And the tapes show that they found something very large, something one would say disc-shaped, buried in the ice.
Circular in nature, yeah.
They found the alien spaceship.
Dude, by the way, these Norwegians were doing some like real work out there.
That's a lot of digging.
Dude, the amount of ice this thing was buried under, like how long were they working on this thing? What was...
I think they said they weren't there maybe 6 months. They say, I forgot the exact number.
They probably should have warned someone like, hey, we found a spaceship.
Hey guys, we found an alien aircraft. Maybe we could call in some help.
Yeah, instead of like, hey, no, let's just figure this out on our own. But it didn't work out well for you, did it?
Maybe it was like, hey, we want the credit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mac decides after seeing these tapes, you know what? We got to go check this thing out. Before he leaves, Fuchs is like, hey, there's a lot of heavy winds going on out there. I don't know if you should leave. And me, in my mind, and I'm not going to do this too much, I was like, he's an alien.
After every sentence, I'm like, infected 100%.
I'm just telling you guys, I'm not going to do that too much more, throw those in. But I started like the second time I watched it, maybe the third time, I was like nitpicking things and be like, oh, he said this. Like, that seems
okay,
odd.
But why would you think he'd be an alien? Like, why would he care if he left?
I see, but here's the thing about it. I can't even argue either way because I could see it justified either way. Because when he leaves with these people, we'll learn he's leaving with a couple people maybe he shouldn't be alone with.
Oh, that's true.
But so then he should want him to leave. So that's what I'm saying.
See the quagmire we're involved in?
This is what actually happens. Mac, Palmer, Norris, they get in the helicopter and they travel to this crash site. They find a huge crater. There's a spaceship there. Now, they can't just walk to this. They actually have to rappel down into it, which I'm like, this is like quite the adventure we're going on.
Yeah, like you guys were prepared to do this?
It's not only rappelling down, that's like the easy part. You got to come back out.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to do either of these things. I'd be worried about getting stuck in the ice.
Exactly. After they find the spaceship, Norris explains that it's got to be at least 100,000 years old. And as soon as Norris said that, my first thought was, how do you know that, Norris?
Yeah, it seems like he knows more than he probably should.
100,000 on the dot, Norris. Interesting.
Interesting. Our eye is on you, Norris.
Yes. They also find a huge chunk of ice that's been removed from the site. So basically, the alien creature, the chunk of ice they found in the camp came from here.
Now, can we talk about what happened with the spaceship?
What do you mean?
Like how it got there. Did the alien actually land it there on purpose?
Okay, let's just get into it. Let's just start this part. The alien spaceship seems to have been out of control, crash landing in Antarctica.
I think what makes sense to me is that, yes, the thing had got on this other alien spaceship. Who knows? That'd be a great story to watch. I would love that. I don't know. Would I? Nah, I don't care. I think the thing was taking over these aliens in the state of chaos. It crash lands, everyone dies or freezes except for the thing, who then got out of the spaceship, tried to crawl out and then froze.
But also looking alien-ish, tried to assimilate with one of the Norwegians. Because the original body has the heads. The original alien that was frozen has the human head that's like merging, but it also has like alien features.
Wait, why do you think that's the original alien?
Well, what is the original alien?
Well, we don't know, because I think what happened is they found it, right? It was frozen. First of all, you might wonder, what about the other aliens on the spaceship? I'm sure this thing ate them all up by that time, right?
Well, yeah, but they would look like aliens if they're assimilated.
Yeah, so this thing would look like whatever, who knows what it looks like when the Norwegians found it, but then they pull it up out of its tomb, then they start doing their little tests. At that point, it starts doing its game, right? And starts assimilating.
Who are you talking about?
The Norwegians and this alien, this thing.
Right, but I'm saying like the thing they found in the ice, that looked alienish.
Oh, I would assume so, yes.
So I'm saying that's like one of the aliens, like, yeah, so they found, I'm sure they found something that looked like an alien.
Yeah.
In the block of ice.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing, of course.
And then when our guys came and found the creature burned up, it looked alienish, but it was merging with a human.
Yeah, but who knows what number of replication that was? This thing can look like anything at any point in time.
The bottom line is it was replicating aliens. I don't think you're digging too deep. Like, it replicated aliens. What we're trying to get to is that it wasn't an alien like originally.
No.
We think that it was the thing that was replicating aliens, and it like messed with them like it's doing with the Norwegians, with everyone else, made them crash land. So, because you may think like, oh, the thing's just an alien that was on the ship.
Yeah, which again brings me back to my point of like, I don't think this thing is good at its job because every one it takes over, it seems to have like disastrous effects. It's not very sly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if I was the thing, I could have infected all the Norwegians and no one would even know.
It all depends on how that process actually works.
So where are we?
Yeah, so they...
Are we doing the pod still?
Mac and the crew, that's where we are. They're heading back to the camp. So they found the ship. Obviously, we're dealing with like alien stuff going on here. A lot to talk about. I mean, we already kind of knew that was going on, but they've seen it now with their own eyes.
Yeah.
They go back to the camp, basically start telling everybody like, hey, we found the alien ship. It looks like they put the pieces together. Norwegians found the chunk of ice with the alien, took it back. It thawed out. Bad things happened. Here we are. Now we have like an alien creature with us.
Dude, could you imagine being in this situation?
It'd be a tough spot. Well, while they're talking this out, Noel's come in and he's not happy at all because someone threw their underwear in the kitchen trash can. And when I say underwear, it's like long johns.
And they're all ripped up.
Seem to be shredded. Keep that in your head. And it actually kind of gets like glossed over because no one seems to care really. It's like, whatever. Someone threw their clothes away in the trash can. We got aliens to deal with here.
Well, yeah, you would just think, oh, that's odd. Maybe someone had an accident. Maybe someone was playing chess earlier. You know what I'm saying? No.
Now, out of everyone, Childs really isn't buying what Mac's saying about this whole thing. I don't know why. Childs doesn't seem to realize this is like a huge issue with aliens and stuff. He's kind of like, are you guys buying this story? You know, he doesn't believe it.
Yeah, well, it would be hard to believe, Dan. I think that would be hard. I think I might be the same way. Like, dude, this can't be real.
After what's been seen, I would start to believe.
But he hasn't seen it. You know, he might, in his mind, he's like, hey, maybe they just saw something and misidentified the alien spaceship.
That is true. That is true.
But it was on a videotape, so I don't know.
Hard to, like, they didn't have AI back then.
Yeah.
That was real.
Yeah.
Blair goes back to his office. He fires up his computer where he runs his alien assimilation program. Love the technology for the day.
Well, you know it didn't exist, right?
Yes, it's obvious. It looks like a game where there's just like two little colored amoebas moving around and one touches, takes it over, goes to the next one.
Yeah, become one and move on. Yeah.
It's like titled like Dog Alien Assimilation Program or something.
Yeah, my thought is like, how did he have this program ready?
I guess I'm going to give him credit. He's going to be a coder as well.
Yeah, genius, dude.
When he runs the program, it tells him like, hey, there's a 75% chance that there's a team member that has already been infected. And if that infection was to reach the civilized world, like get out of Antarctica, the world population will be infected in 27,000 hours. And I know you're like, if you're like me, you're like, that's a big number. What's that really mean? Just over 3 years.
Yeah, so now it puts stakes on this thing. It's not even just about these people here. It's about the world. Like, we got to stop this problem now because it can get out of hand really quick.
Well, Blair is the only one who really realizes how bad this is. And he basically just like understands they're all pretty much doomed.
Because how do you figure out who's infected? You don't even know. In fact, at this point, everyone can be infected and Blair wouldn't even know.
He could be infected and doesn't know.
Well, he could be infected running the test and we just watched the thing running tests on itself.
That's the ultimate trick, to trick us all.
And now we're the ones who are tricked watching the movie.
It's true. It also didn't help that he seemed to be drinking a lot of vodka this time.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea, but hey, who am I to judge?
Well, it's not going to help the decisions he makes next because he opens his desk and he pulls out his revolver. Okay, now here's another moment. I went a little off the rails because I looked in this desk and I started reading the papers and I had to zoom in to see what was on them.
Good Lord, Daniel.
And what did I find? A fire quiz.
Quiz about fire?
A quiz about fire safety.
Okay.
And let me just say, these answers are not the greatest. So some of the things that they said: smoking in bed is perfectly safe for adults as long as an ashtray is nearby.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this was a different time. That's crazy, by the way.
Not safe. Shouldn't do it.
Yeah, smoking's bad for you if you guys don't know.
Lots of houses burn down because of things like that.
I mean, I was more thinking from like internally your lungs.
Well,
but,
that too.
Yeah.
That's the long assimilation of smoking. Mine's the immediate assimilation of smoking.
Is this movie about smoking? The dangers of smoking?
There was a point I'm like, is this about cancer? Is this like a cancer movie?
Hey, this movie could be about whatever you want it to be about.
Okay, another great one. Gasoline vapors are safe because they are only composed of air and gasoline. That is just not true at all.
I was going to say, don't look at me. Is that true? I don't know.
It's like hydrocarbons with oxygen. And like the whole point of like gasoline vapors and stuff, they can be like ignited. It's like very dangerous.
Okay.
Like it depends on like the mix with air and stuff like that, but it's not safe at all.
Yeah, I'll take your word at that. Sure.
It's just something you cannot say that it's like, that is completely safe. That's crazy.
I mean, was this just bad information at the time, or was this just like a stupid thing in a drawer that you're reading?
This is a paper I'm reading in the drawer of this movie. I have no idea where this came from.
Like who wrote this paper? Why is it there?
It seemed like it's almost a joke.
Yeah.
And my favorite one of all of them is most fires are caused by human carelessness, thus can't be prevented.
Okay.
So why even try?
This is a joke. Yeah.
It's like, hey, humans, which is actually interesting. Like, it's kind of this whole situation. You can't really do anything. It's going to happen.
Yeah. And I would actually say they're probably right. A lot of fires are caused by humans being careless.
That is true, but they can be prevented.
I think with the knowledge that humans cause fire, we can.
I think education, you can just say that.
Thank you. I got stuck, dude. I know I was in a corner.
Yeah.
I know where to go.
So if you ever wondered what was on that page in Blair's desk, there it is.
Wow. Thank you, Daniel. Another great piece of information. I mean, it was interesting, so I'll give you that.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Back with Mac. He's drinking some J&B Scotch whiskey. Not only that, though, he's actually got a can of Coors with him as well. He was like double banging, one might say.
That's not what I called it in high school.
So that would like two dudes were on each side of you.
I know. I didn't say high school. That's like too young.
Yeah,
I feel gross saying that.
Mac pulls out the underwear, the long johns, and he's kind of like looking at him and inspecting them, right? And basically now you're seeing that he's starting to think about this like, hey, these long johns were torn apart. That's weird. Maybe they belong to someone who was assimilated. Now, Doc hits the intercom and he tells Mac, hey, you got to go get your stuff out of the storeroom. We're going to be moving alien parts in there.
Okay, and so this alien parts they're moving in, which alien is this?
Okay, I think this is the burned up dog room alien.
Okay.
Mac arrives in the storeroom just as Windows and Bennings are moving the alien carcass into the storeroom. Mac grabs his stuff, but as soon as he leaves, Fuchs grabs him and is like, hey, dude, we got to talk. It's important. They take off to have like a little private chat.
Can I tell you like a strategy I thought about when I was watching this movie that would solve this problem of people getting infected all the time?
I already know what you're going to say, and it's like the part of this movie that will drive you the craziest.
You got to go in odd numbers.
Oh, that wasn't it.
Oh, you can't go even. You can't go two.
Why?
Because if there's two people, one of you could be infected and you're going to now get both of them infected.
Hey, you want to hear something? Odd numbers. If there's three, two of them could be infected and you're still going to get infected. Hey, here's another odd number, 1.
Well, you can't infect one.
You can be infected and not even know it.
But I'm saying if you're going to be strategic about it, you should probably go in groups of 3.
No,
now saying that, you're right. If 2 of them are infected, you're just kind of effed. There's nothing you can do about that.
Here's also, I thought, like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, everyone has to stay together at all times.
Actually,
like, there can be no breakup.
That's the one way. And they don't seem like ever concerned to that level. It's like, hey, let's just all split up and see what happens.
And that's the part of this movie that'll drive you crazy, especially when you're trying to dig deep, is that they're constantly splitting up and you don't know where people are. And there's like cuts in the movie where time passes and you have no idea how much time just passed. So you're trying to keep track of things and then it's just like a cut and you're like, well, F me. Like there's no way to know where anybody is or who's assimilated.
Yeah, there's no way to know what has happened.
Right. Because I think there's a significant time gap. It might even be days and you don't know.
Yeah. And so you just kind of have to go off of what they tell you and then make assumptions off that information.
Correct.
That sounds smart as right there.
Yeah, well, debatable. Back to the storeroom again. We have Mac and Fuchs. They took off. Bennings is getting his stuff off the shelf. Windows comes in. He's like, hey, do you got the keys? I guess they're going to lock up the room. Bennings is like, oh, you got to go get those from Gary. So Windows takes off out of the room. As he does, we see in that alien carcass, it seems to be a tentacle drop down and it seems to be growing.
Yeah, that's a little problematic. Again, I don't know why you'd store these things, but you know what? Who was in the room with him? Who was in the room with Windows?
Bennings.
Bennings did say something that I thought was weird. He said, hey, we got to keep these because like something to the effect of like, we're going to get a lot of notoriety or money off of them.
Yeah,
right?
it's going to like win the Nobel Peace Prize or something.
Yeah, that's what he said. So it's like, yeah, I get that point of view, but also I'm like, are you infected? Because that's weird that you'd want to keep this around.
But he's not infected.
Yeah, so I guess it's just a bad decision.
Correct.
Yeah.
Back with Fuchs and Mac, they go out to like a snowplow. Fuchs is telling him like, hey dude, there's problems with Blair because that dude's now locked himself in the room. But Fuchs was able to take his notebook and there's some very interesting information because Blair, he's the smartest guy here. He's done the most research. He seems to have the best grasp on what's going on.
So we're going to now like take this information as fact, right?
Pretty much as you watch the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of, again, giving us more rules about this thing.
But you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt because, again, it's just a guy's idea, but we're going to just go with it. So
yeah, I know. I keep going back to like, hey, you actually don't have to listen to any of this. This all could be fake.
I know. The alien needs to be alone and in close proximity with the life form to absorb it. All right. So that's like step one is like it has to isolate, be close to you, and then it can absorb you.
So if you're with, no, I was going to say if you're with three people, I was going to say you're not technically alone because there's two people and one you, but if they're both part of the same one thing.
I'm just going to say it does seem like in the movie, it does like to get things alone. Although with the dogs, there was like 4 of them. That doesn't make sense to me.
This was a human only rule.
He also says the chameleon strikes in the dark. That's almost poetic. Does the chameleon strike in the dark? Because the chameleon can just strike in the day because it like changes its colors and stuff, right?
I mean, I don't even know that I would describe chameleons as striking anything. Do they attack people or things? No, definitely people. Do they attack things?
Okay, you know where they're going with it though. Like the chameleon changes shape. And then basically he's saying the creature strikes in the dark.
Okay, yes.
Which again, I guess it kind of does. Here's the thing. It likes to be alone, secluded, and hidden when it strikes.
Well, that would make sense. Like if it's alone and secluded, then people won't be onto it. Because I think hiding itself is probably the best thing it could do.
Right. Because that's like, it has options where it could try to assimilate in front of people. It just never goes well.
Yeah, because God knows what the heck it's doing. It's just got like these tentacles flying around.
Lots of penetration.
Yeah.
Tentacle penetration going on.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Another important point. There's still cellular activity in the burned remains. Now, I took this as like Blair is saying the remains that we have still have cellular activity. I don't think he was saying like you can never kill it all.
Oh, okay, because I was thinking like, okay, so even if they burn it, it's not dead?
I took it that way too, but the way I was thinking, it's like in this scenario, he's noticed there's still cellular activity.
In the burned remains that he is currently looking at.
Yeah, that's the way I took it.
I didn't know it was burned though, Dan.
What do you mean?
Was it even burned? Which remains is he looking at?
It's the dog one.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay, then I'm on board.
I think, right? But what happened to the original one, the alien one? That thing's still around.
Isn't that what's in the room?
They're both burned though. That's the thing. They both did get burned.
Why did the first the what's hanging out in the storage room?
I think that's the dog one. I think that's the dog carcass one.
Okay, whatever. We're moving on. We got lost.
Okay, back with Windows and Bennings. So remember, Windows left, Bennings in the room.
Yeah, there you got that alien carcass in there that's dripping.
Right, there's a time gap. Windows comes back, presumably got the keys from Gary. He returns to find a bloodbath. There's like clothing and blood all over this place. Like an explosive childbirth just happened.
It's a disgusting way to describe it.
If you know, you know.
I mean, well, we know, yes. I mean, well, no. But I don't think childbirth is that bloody.
It's disgusting.
I think it's beautiful. Shout out moms out there.
Well, other than the blood and guts and everything all over the place, he does find Bennings, who just seems to be hanging out with the alien.
Just in a precarious place. He's just kind of in the corner, just chilling.
Kind of looks like he was just birthed from the alien. Like he's got all that fluid on him, and he's got like tentacles wrapped around him. Even there's like one like in his mouth.
Yeah, like it built him and it's like supplying him oxygen or whatever nutrients he needs. And at one point when he's finished, it's going to pop it out.
Sure.
It's my head lore, bro.
All right. Now, Windows, when he sees all this, he drops the keys to the floor and runs out. This is a big point. In every YouTube video, you're going to see this. They always talk about the keys. You can hear them hit the floor. They made it very obvious. The keys fell, noise, we hear it.
Never heard it the first time, never noticed it. But yeah, now every time I watch it, you hear it.
You can't miss it. Windows runs to Max and Fuchs, who just step out of the snowplow, and he's like, hey, come with me, Bennings. There's a problem. They run back into the storage room only to find Bennings is no longer there. It seems that he's escaped. Here's the thing. Was there a creature left on there? I don't think there was.
Oh, like it seemed like it was just Bennings now, right?
Like there's no carcass anymore.
I think that's true.
So maybe if it's nearly dead, it assimilates its whole thing into the person.
Yeah, because at that point, what is it going to stay as, you know?
Right. It needs something to go into.
I think so.
It needs a vessel.
Sure.
Okay, we're going to go with that. That makes sense to me. They look out the window. They see Bennings is now like just taking off in the snow, run outside to catch up to him. And at this point, we're with Mac, Windows, and Fuchs, but eventually like a bunch of them all come out to see what's going on. They catch up to Bennings. He falls down to the ground. Mac takes one look at him and he's like, hey, this ain't Bennings. And you may be wondering why. Well, it's because he has giant tentacle hands.
Yeah, so it's like this thing did not finish making the Bennings model.
Yes, incomplete. It looks crazy, but even like more terrifying to me is the way Bennings like looks up and he lets out that roar.
Yeah, he opens his mouth and blank stares and just makes this guttural just noise. Do you know what the noise is supposed to be?
Oh, I did read about it, but what is it?
It's supposed to be like a
amalgamation of all the noises that it's heard before.
First of all, A+ for that word. Never would have pulled that off. Yes, I was going to say combination. But yeah, like all the different things it's taken over, it's all of them combined into one. And I think they probably in that sound combined a bunch of different noises of animals and maybe people. I don't know.
Either way, it's effective.
Yeah, it is bizarre. Then you start thinking, like, what just happened? Like, why did it almost let it get caught?
Well, I don't think it had a choice at that point. It had to like get out and try to survive. It was a point where like it's just trying to get away from the enemies attacking it.
I've heard other people argue that it could have got away, but this one, it just like wanted to sacrifice. I don't know.
Why would it sacrifice?
I don't remember. I watched a video. Someone said it sounded smart at the time. I didn't retain any knowledge from it, so I can't even speak on it.
Maybe they were like to show, like maybe make them think that they killed it.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, we almost had a bad situation, but it's dead.
Okay, well, it's going to die here because Mac's going to kick over a can of like gasoline or kerosene or something, aims at a Bennings, throws a flare at it, boom, Bennings goes up in flames.
And what a freaking crazy thing. So now they've seen it actually take over someone.
Yes, somebody that they knew has changed to the point that they are able to like, it looks like Bennings. Except for the hands. The hands were not great.
It was, didn't do a great job, but it didn't have time.
Yes. So we're kind of seeing a pattern of like assimilation going on where we saw it try to do the dogs. We saw the dogs in it that looked close, but it wasn't the dogs. But now we've seen Bennings that was like pretty freaking close.
Which is terrifying because now you're like, okay, we all now have to question every single person that is still alive.
Correct.
You have to, because we obviously know other people are already infected.
Yeah, and you don't know who.
Dude, it could be all, it could be one, it could be five, it could be three.
Well, I think at this point when Max sees Bennings, that like finally clicks like, I cannot trust any of you at this point.
Yeah.
So he runs back in, he grabs a flamethrower and he explains to everyone like, hey dude, we got to round up any carcass, like any creature, and we got to burn them all. We just got to put them like in this pit in the snow and burn them. So they do. They throw gasoline, light them all on fire. There shouldn't be any more creature parts left.
Yeah, which makes sense. I would also say, hey dude, if you want to be safe, just light all the people on fire. I mean, dude, if you know you're not the thing and it's for humanity, is that a moral decision?
It is. Well, that's also a decision some other people in this movie are thinking about.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to it.
About our boy Blair?
We're talking about our boy Blair. The next morning, the burning's complete. Mac is outside when he catches Blair running away from the helicopter carrying an axe. Goes over to inspect. Blair has like destroyed the whole helicopter. Electrical systems totally destroyed.
Which is funny because my first thought is like, okay, he's infected.
You would think it's the alien that's doing this to keep them all here.
But then once you hear his logic, you're like, shoot, it's almost like the Thanos situation, right? Is it better for us to just like kill half the people or everyone so we can survive? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
So
the
humanity
Thanos.
you didn't watch the Avengers?
Not a huge like Marvel dude.
Yeah, actually, I don't even remember. I just know like part of the plot is like you kill half the people so then the rest will survive, that type thing.
Hey, I know he does stuff like this. You're disappeared.
What happened?
Mac hears a gunshot. He takes off towards Blair's room where he finds Blair has now barricaded himself.
Yes, and there's other people around too. There's gunshots happening. I think Windows is stuck in the room with him. And Blair's going ham.
Yeah,
he's destroying everything.
Yeah, it looks like a server room or something. He's just destroying everything in sight. Like just insane destruction. Okay, so this is one of those scenes you start looking around. Okay, I'm not going to go through it all. There's a bunch of people, but there's people missing. And it seems like Palmer is missing in a ton of these scenes.
That's the whole thing that I said earlier. It's like, it's not who's there, it's who's not there that you need to pay attention to. I think. I don't even know.
It's funny because I already did this. I went through this whole outline. I had who was there and who wasn't there. And then the next time I watch it, because I've watched this movie 4 times since we started this whole thing. And the next time I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter.
Well, because here's the thing that screws up everything. Want me to tell you?
Yeah.
The concept of perfect assimilation.
You know what also screws it up? The concept of a slow assimilation. A perfectly slow assimilation. You don't know where people are at in the assimilation process. So, okay, here's the problem. The slow assimilation. You could be assimilated. I don't know when you start being the alien thing.
Like, when is it detectable?
Right.
Then the concept of a perfect assimilation, you will never know that someone's assimilated.
I don't even know if they know. I don't know when the brain changes to like, you're no longer the person you thought you were.
To go another level deeper, I don't think the actors who are playing the characters know either.
That is actually accurate. They did not know.
Dude, so what a mind F this whole thing is.
They were trying to figure it out. Like, how would you know if you are assimilated? Like, they're trying to act. They finally came to the conclusion you just wouldn't know.
It's, yeah. Well, so then it like throws a wrench in the whole idea of like,
actually, I don't know if they said you wouldn't know, but other people definitely wouldn't know that you were assimilated.
So
is it
assimilated or simulated?
Assimilated.
I don't even know if I've been saying it right. Who cares? You guys know what we're getting at. We're not perfect wordsmiths over here.
Yeah.
Never claimed to be. So, dude, that's what throws a freaking wrench in this whole thing, which also makes it great, is like you can't figure it out because you want to try to look at the characters and I want to be like, oh, look at the way they're acting now. They're acting different than they did before. But by that logic that they didn't even know, how would they even act different?
Dude, we're going to get to it because there's someone who is a thing that acts very normal-ish. Back with Blair. How about that? He destroyed the chopper, he destroyed a tractor, and unfortunately, he took out the dogs.
But you understand, though, if you understand the way Blair's thinking, you got to do it.
Yeah, Blair has gone on the arc of it's better for the world if maybe none of us are alive.
Well, I mean, it's just like we got to destroy this so it doesn't get out and infect everyone else.
Yeah, it's not about us surviving. It's about not letting it survive.
So with that thinking, it's like respectful what he's doing. It's actually for the greater good.
He may be the best guy here.
Yeah, because it's like, I would be like, well, I mean, if I survive, that's good too, you know?
It's hard to think of him as the best guy, though, when we see he put an axe into a dog.
That's tough.
It's a tough
It's a tough look. It's a tough look, dude. Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah. Blair is barricaded in this room. Childs ends up like sneaking around to the side, tries to talk to him. Blair just takes a shot through the wall at him. Like, it's like right at him too.
Yeah, but when you can't trust anyone, it's like, all right, like human lives don't really matter that much anymore.
Yeah, you can tell. He does, at this point, he's lost it. He doesn't care. Eventually, they tackle him. Mac hits him with a cross, knocks him out cold, and we've got the situation a little bit under control. They grab Blair, kind of drag him off to the tool shed. Now, the tool shed's off the main building. It's like by itself. Lock him inside. He's got no way out.
Yeah, so he's isolated. The problem's been dealt with for now. We're not going to hurt him, but just let him like do his own thing over here.
You know what they're big on in this movie, and they do it with Blair too? They inject him with morphine. They like drug him up, but no one really acts high or anything.
Oh.
But they do that. They like stick a needle in their arm, inject him, because at one point I'm like, what are they injecting in there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I guess that's odd. Sure.
They do it a couple times where it's like, you guys are just like slamming people with drugs. Cool, I guess. But
I mean, the idea in this scenario is like, he's out of control. We got to calm him down. Just
it
give him
makes
some
sense.
juice.
Yeah, why not? Everyone takes off except for Mac, who stays with Blair to heed Blair's one warning. Watch out for Clark. watch him close.
Which is a total setup.
It's very interesting because Clark that's the crazy thing with this movie. A lot of people you think are the prime candidates to be assimilated because they're around the thing more than others are not the people the thing assimilates to. And then if you look deeper, you're like, this thing's very intelligent. It knows that. So it doesn't go for the easy pickings.
Yeah, we're playing chess, not checkers.
Chess wizard.
See where we're going here? Yeah, that is the funniest thing. The first time you watch it, like you said, the people you suspect aren't necessarily the ones who've been infected.
Right. You got to think deeper.
Yeah.
There's
levels to this stuff.
Now the survivors, they got to figure out how are we going to determine who's real. So the doc explains, hey, I've been thinking about this blood serum test. We need to take a sample of blood, mix it with uncontaminated blood, and if it reacts, we'll know it's not human. I honestly don't know how this test was supposed to work because they had like blood bags, and then are they supposed to take their blood? And I don't know how that is going to work.
And then mix it, and I'm like, okay, I guess that works. I didn't know either. Hey, here's the best part. We never see it, so who cares?
That is true because, well, what's about to happen? I have it written here. Okay. Should I tell you who's outside right now and who's not?
No.
Okay. There's people outside.
I mean, dude, you can't go into the names because it's hard to remember who's who, even for me. And I've been like studying this thing for the podcast. Probably the most work I've ever done for a podcast, to be honest. Because honestly, I just love the movie. So it was cool. But it's like you get so lost in it, right? And especially for listeners, I don't think you can go give every name and have that register.
And also there's like time gaps. So you don't know when this person is missing. So it's weird. It gets really confusing.
How long has it even been since the Norwegians tried to kill the dog? I have no idea.
I don't know. Back to the blood test thing. Fuchs reminds him, hey, we've got like whole blood in the storage in there. So like, why don't we just use that? They're like, cool. Gary gives Copper his keys, the doctor, and he tells him, hey, dude, go get the blood. Let's start this testing process. This all sounds great. But as soon as Copper gets to the little blood safe, we got a problem. All the blood's been destroyed. The bags have been like ripped open. There's blood like flowing out. Even bigger problem is the lock is undamaged. So someone used a key to open it.
And here's where we come into the big key controversy.
Oh, this is another big one for the thing. Another big one. First, let's start off. Who had access? They break this down. Dr. Cooper is the only one who has access to the safe. Gary is the only one who has the key. Gary says no one could use the key except for Copper, and he only gives it to him when he needs it. Copper says no one could have gotten it from him because as soon as he uses the key, he gives it right back to Gary. So Gary has the key, gives it to Copper, Copper gives it right back to Gary.
So all I see right now, two suspects.
Yeah, the only huge glaring problem is that we already know Windows went to Gary to get the key.
Right.
Not for the storage room or for like the room, not for the safe. I mean, we all assume this is the same set of keys, right?
I thought so, yeah.
But no one in the movie ever talks about it. And apparently Gary doesn't remember giving him the key. But you would think like it'd be like an obvious thing. Like, oh, dude, Windows totally asked me for the key.
Yeah, because we saw that, right? In the movie.
Right, that happened.
Well, we didn't see him asking, but we heard him say he was going to ask. Then we heard keys drop.
Keys fell to the floor. So as far as we know, the keys at one point were on the floor. Somehow they got back to Gary.
Was Windows not a suspect because of this? I thought he was, but
nobody ever called him out. I think he acts in a way because in his mind, he was going to become a suspect.
Okay.
Because he should know, like, hey, Gary should be asking me about this, but he never does.
Yeah, why? Well, then you're like, why didn't Gary bring that up?
Correct. I don't know. Was it even Gary he got the keys from? I don't know.
Interesting. All questions.
So now basically they all start accusing each other. Like Gary kind of puts it on Copper. Copper's like, hey, dude, you've been in here multiple times. But then Fuchs makes a good point. He's like, well, it can't really be the doctor. He's the one who thought of the test.
Which I would say that would be a genius move by the thing. One might say a chess move.
Obviously, but if it is the thing, yeah, you can think of the test. You already know the blood's been destroyed, or you can have it know it can be destroyed.
Again, levels to this.
Or if you're the doctor, you can totally rig the test anyways.
Right.
So maybe if you are the thing, you actually want that safe to have the blood in it because you could rig the test.
I mean, you might already know the test is no good anyways. Who knows if it would even work?
You could do a lot of things.
Yeah.
You guys see the problems here.
Yeah.
While all this is going on, Windows, again, I think he freaked out because he knew, like, hey, they're talking about the key thing. I did have the keys. No one's mentioning it. That's strange. I'm just worried about my safety and Gary at this point because he should bring that up. He takes off, runs to the gun cabinet. He's ready to start murdering people, I guess. I don't know.
Or just self-defense, right?
Whatever.
Stand your ground.
Yeah, you can argue that. They end up like talking him down, calming the whole situation. But Gary kind of sees the problem here and he's like, hey, dude, I'm now a suspect. I know I'm the commander of this whole thing. No one should really trust me. I don't know. Someone else should be in charge. He's like, hey, Norris, you should just take over. And Norris is like,
I'm sorry, fellas, but I'm not up to it.
and I'm just like, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, go on, Norris. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Why aren't you up for this?
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Anyways, this leaves a door open for Mac. He now is going to take control. And from here on out, he's the leader of this whole thing. And his first order of business is to take those blood bags and burn them up. And I ask you, why?
I didn't know they did that. And now that you said that, what would the purpose be? I don't know.
You know what? I'm thinking maybe there is still a way you could use those blood bags. And maybe Mac doesn't want them to use that way.
Oh, so you think Mac's maybe already been infected?
I'm just saying, tell me the reason why you'd want to burn them. The only way I could see is maybe you think the bags have been infected, but who's going to use them anyways?
I can't do this because you could argue a million different ways on if the alien wanted the bags or not wanted the bags. You know what I'm saying?
That is correct.
Dude,
Yeah.
with everything. Again, now I'm back to the point of like, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't. But okay, so Mac burns them up. Then he gives a speech. And
Can I say one more thing? I'm sorry. You could all look at the funny thing is you could look at this movie in so many different ways. Like I thought it was crazy, but you legit could look at this movie from the point of view that Mac was infected early.
Absolutely.
And all
you
of his
could.
actions are of a thing's point of view.
You could do that with a lot of the characters.
It's so interesting, which makes this movie so good.
Agreed.
And then you kind of make it whatever you want it to be.
You can do that. And I've done that multiple times watching this.
Dude, yeah, it's tough.
All right, so Mac burned up the blood bags. Here's where you start realizing how paranoid he is, and he should be. He realizes, like, hey, some of you out here are still human, because if you weren't, the thing would just convert me, and I know I'm a human.
Dude, I love that line because you're like, oh, shoot, you're right. Like, that's when I first clicked on my first watch, like, oh, shoot, everyone can be infected. We don't even know. Because you just assume, like, one is infected over here, maybe two. But no, it legit could be all. We don't know.
Well, according to Mac, we do know that they're all not infected because they would just turn him. It'd be over.
I mean,
It'd be game over.
True.
So
yes.
There's at least a couple that aren't infected. He explains now, like, hey, if we let this thing take us all over, it'll have no more enemies. And when it has nobody left to kill, it's one. Do you get it?
I mean,
It's one.
Oh, double entendre?
Is that what it's called?
A word that means two different things?
Yeah. It's one. Not only has it won the battle, but we've all become one.
Yeah, very clever play on words. I like it.
Mac needs to figure out a system of how we're going to identify who is the thing. First step, he separates Doc Cooper, Gary, and Clark. He has Norris and Childs shoot him up with morphine and tie him up in the rec room.
So is this because the whole key fiasco, right?
I think this is the key fiasco. And Clark, the doc Blair told him just don't trust Clark. Clark's been a little sketchy.
He is a little sketchy, and he is like the one who let the dog out for way too long, which caused like a lot of the problem, I would say.
Also, that is odd that he wouldn't put the dog in the kennel. Like, he has dogs that are in kennels. Why are you letting one roam?
Yeah, like that's your job to take care of the dogs.
Why did he let it roam?
I don't know.
We're going to let that go.
Just pointing it out.
Fuchs is now charged with making a new test. Mac goes back to a room. I don't know if it was his room. It's a room, and he's recording like what happened on it, like a tape recorder. Now he brings up the thing and explains that the thing rips through your clothes. Remember, I was examining the clothes. He's come up with this theory. When it's going through its assimilation, it rips up the clothes and takes you over. So when you find torn up clothes, then you're realizing someone now has been assimilated. That's how he like puts it together.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, why else would clothes be torn up?
Well, there's multiple reasons. I don't know what they are, but
You could imagine.
a werewolf situation.
Yeah, it's some sort of transformation. Yeah.
Okay, now did you realize there's a second pair of long johns that have been found here?
I don't think so.
because during this scene, he's inspecting new long johns that are missing a name tag. These were given to him by Windows. The first pair was given to him by Knowles.
Okay, so did we just not see that happen?
I don't think we saw it happen, but they bring it up. So now we know 2 people have been assimilated.
Yeah, well, we know and one's already down, but yeah, who knows how many, sure.
Mac then goes into like the laboratory where Fuchs is. Fuchs is working on it again. He's trying to figure out a way to find a test that'll work for this thing. As soon as Mac walks in, do you notice what Fuchs does?
No.
He reaches over and grabs a beaker. Now, you may ask, what is in that beaker? It's acid. Because Fuchs doesn't even trust Mac coming in the room.
Oh, so he's going to grab acid to pour it on his face or something?
Well, it's interesting because acid works at a cellular level, so it can destroy. So Fuchs is like, has game plans here.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And you may be like, oh, Fuchs is going to create like some type of acid weapon. He's not. Fuchs doesn't have long for this world. Fuchs explains through his research here that a particle, this is where my brain got effed up. A particle of this thing can take over a whole organism. And then he gives some advice like, I think we should all eat out of cans. We shouldn't like eat something someone else made.
Yeah, and then now it's like, okay, the dog licking the guy's face in the beginning makes more sense, right?
I don't know if he ever did lick his face. If this is true, they're all screwed.
Yeah, well,
it's over.
Yeah, but you're right. It didn't look his face, but it looked like he was trying to, right? So then it makes sense. It's like that thing, the dog, was trying to infect from the start.
It's just like there's no way at this point they all are infected. There's no way you can get around it.
Maybe.
If that was true. Later that night, Fuchs is working in his laboratory. A fuse gets blown in the lab, lights shut off. Fuchs goes to walk out, and then someone passes by his room at a very fast pace.
And is that where you hear that noise too?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, there's some like here, a noise like this. Wow. Creepy.
So Fuchs follows this person. He gets led outside. He lights up a flare. In the snow, he then finds clothing. And on that clothing is a name, and it's McCready.
So that's our main character.
Mac's clothes are ripped up in a pile outside.
So weird. Because it took me a while to even realize those were his clothes.
It's very confusing on what's going on at this point.
They find him again later.
Exactly.
Were there 2 sets?
We'll get to it at the end. We got to get through some of this. Mac notices now Fuchs is missing. So again, we know what happened to Fuchs, but Mac doesn't. He notices he's gone. He tells Knowles, Window, go with me. We're going to go outside.
Respect the man. Give him the S at the end.
No, what'd I say?
Window.
Well, they do call him like Winda. Winda. Anyway, whatever. So Knowles, Windows, Mac, they're going to go outside. Childs and Palmer are going to check the inside. Norris is going to guard Copper, Clark, and Gary.
Yeah,
so that's where everybody is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the outside group takes off. They head out. First stop, though, they're going to check on Blair. And I did love this scene because Blair now is eating out of canned food, and he's made himself a nice little noose.
I was wondering what the heck the noose was for.
It's the cutest little noose ever because it's, I don't know, 3 feet off the ground.
Well, here's the thing, though. Why is it in the spot it's at? So to me, it's almost a setup. Like he wants people to see this noose.
Why would he want that, though?
Because maybe people would sympathize with him and try to let him out.
That's
why else would you have this little noose there? It's rather dramatic. And how's it even going to work?
It's going to be a tough job.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's barely off the ground.
Right.
The interesting thing here, though, is Blair has a personality shift. And I find this interesting because out of people who are assimilated, this is like the only time you see someone who seems to be like totally different. Now, he did have like a total breakdown. So you're kind of assuming like, because he says now like he feels better. Like, guys, I just went out of here. I don't want to be here. Like, just let me back in with you.
Yeah. So by the way, they're talking to Blair through like this little door. What is it? Latch or something. They open up and you can talk to him through that.
Right.
They're not in there with him, but it's very clear Blair's trying to act really cool. Like too cool, you know what I'm saying? Like suspiciously cool.
I'm not going to harm anybody, and there's nothing wrong with me. And if there was, I'm all better now. I'd like to come back inside. Now, you got my promise.
The only other thing he really says is when Matt is asking about Fuchs, or because they're looking for Fuchs, and he's like, it's not Fuchs. Fuchs isn't one of them, which is strange to me that he's so adamant about that when we're going to find out Fuchs is dead.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it's like, how would you know? You've been in here.
I personally think here's the thing. Blair's already turned. Blair is one of them. We don't know for sure if it's at this point he's already turned, but I think at this point, Blair is already a thing, and he actually doesn't even want out of here because he's already working on other stuff. So he's acting weird knowing they're not going to let him out.
Oh, interesting.
That's
okay.
my take on that.
So why did he build the noose?
That's just a little touch, a little something.
Just for fun, to mess with the boys. Because it doesn't make sense, but okay.
They leave Blair in his little cell, and then they stumble across Fuchs's burned up body with a flare next to him. And it appears that he took himself out.
How'd you know it was Fuchs?
They picked up the glasses.
I know. I like that too. Yeah, so this is interesting. You're just like, why did he just die?
This part, I could sit here and analyze this for a long time because Fuchs found McCready's clothes. The way I finally found peace with it is that he found McCready's clothes and he's like, if Mac's already one of them, I can no longer even trust. Like, one, I could be infected. I don't know. And we're doomed. Like, he's the one I've been trusting. If he's turned, we're all going to get turned.
Or like, I can't even trust that he hasn't. So I'm just going to end it. It's too much information. There's no way to figure this thing out. We're doomed. Yeah.
That's the way I found peace with it.
There's also the scenario that maybe someone found him and found that he saw that Mac's clothes were ripped up and he just said, hey, forget it. I'm not gonna let this person assimilate me. I'm just gonna burn myself up.
I guess there's that. The real problem I have is he found Mac's clothes here. We're gonna find Mac's clothes again. And it's like, did the clothes get moved somehow to a different location? Or are they different clothes, another setup thing? Or
well, wait, you said we found them here. They did not find them here, though.
Fuchs found them here.
Yeah, but now the clothes aren't there.
I know. That's weird.
Yeah.
And then it's like, did Fuchs take them somewhere? Did Fuchs? Okay, so is that okay? Here's where I found peace now. I'm gonna go with this.
New piece.
Fuchs found the clothes. Well, why the F would he do this? I was going to say he found the clothes. He didn't want Mac. He knew someone was trying to set Mac up, which why would you assume that? That's crazy to assume that, but it's a thing. And he hid the clothes somewhere thinking no one would find them and then took himself out to protect Mac. But if you really thought that, then why are you taking yourself out? Why aren't you working with Mac? I don't know.
I mean, who knows? There's a million different ways you could look at it. I do think it's very funny that the thing sets people up or potentially did by ripping clothes up. That's very smart.
That's next level. Again, this is chess we're playing.
Yeah, and it throws us as the viewers for a loop.
Right. What we do know for sure is Fuchs is dead.
I think that's
clear.
I'm 90% sure.
Mac sends Windows now to go inside, like, hey, go tell others about Fuchs. And you may wonder, okay, what's he going to do with Knowles out here? Well, Mac says, my shack over there, when I left it, the light was off. But now, actually, let's reverse that. When I left, the light was on, but now the light is off. No, it's one of the two.
No, it's the reverse. The light was off, and now it's on.
When he left yesterday, he turned the lights off. Correct. Now the light's on. You guys get the deal.
Third time's a charm. Yeah. So someone has been in his room, which makes sense why his clothes were outside. If we're going down the path of he was set up.
If he was set up, or he's doing this all himself. We don't know.
And it's a great opportunity for him to try to get someone else. But that's not what he does, though.
That isn't. So this gets weird. This is a weird time thing. It's been like 45 minutes. For some reason, Knowles and him haven't come back. It doesn't seem like they were that far away. What are they doing in those 45 minutes?
But you do have to remember, though, like they're tied to a line, right? So I think it's kind of hard to navigate from point A to point B because there's like the storm going on.
It's like blizzard conditions. Like if you lose the line, you may just be lost.
I guess, yeah. It seemed pretty clear outside to me.
It seemed a little too clear. But it's been 45 minutes in the movie, so they decide, you know what? Let's barricade these doors. We need to make sure we're safe in here.
Yeah, like it's been too much time for them in the movie. They think like, hey, they both could be infected. Now let's just let them die.
Let's cut our losses, I guess. Although if they were infected, we know the thing likes the cold. It could do fine. We'll move on with that.
I don't
Whatever.
think it does like the cold.
Well, it's fine with getting frozen. It gets frozen. It can just come alive again. You know?
Time is not a problem for the thing. It doesn't care if it waits a million years. It'll just come back.
Right. So it's fine with the cold.
In that respect, yes.
But before they fully seal this thing up, Norris spots Knowles alone with a flare. They don't really know it's Knowles. Someone outside with a flare coming at him. Knowles comes inside and he explains, hey, I cut Mac loose because I found Mac's clothes in the oil furnace. Don't know where I guess in his room there's a furnace. He found him in there somehow with Mac, but Mac didn't notice. He left, cut the line so Mac couldn't get back, and came by himself.
See, and that would be like, why would Mac let him find that if he was the thing?
That is true. I actually was thinking Knowles was one of the things and was setting Mac up again.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did he bring clothes with him? Doesn't matter. Norris, Palmer, and Childs, they're all on board with Mac being turned, and that's when the door handle starts to turn. Now, Childs is like, we're not letting him in. He's staying out. Like, we can't do this, which I totally get. Like, it seems like Mac has a good probability of being a thing.
At the same time, how could you even believe, what's his name, Norris? Whoever just came in, how could you believe him?
Knowles?
Yeah, Knowles. You'd have to just go off his word, and it's like, you can't believe anyone.
That's the problem we have.
Yeah.
Palmer, though, is like, hey, we should let him in. And then Childs is like, why would you want to let him in? He's like, I want to just blow him away with a torch. It seems like he wants to murder Mac maybe more than he should.
Yeah, it's a little odd. You really haven't seen any evidence.
We just know the clothes thing.
Only because that one guy told us.
Yeah. Window's the only one who's like, hey, you know what? We could be wrong about this whole thing. Doesn't matter though, because Mac goes to the supply room, breaks the window, gets inside. The group breaks through with an axe because Mac had the keys, only one. So they had to bust through the door. They find Mac holding a flare and some dynamite. And basically he's like, you mess with me, I'm going to just take us all out. We're all going to die.
So Mac's back in charge now.
Mac takes over again. Childs puts down the flamethrower. He had a flamethrower. He was totally ready to destroy him. There's a lot of beef between Childs and Mac.
Yeah, it's like two type A personalities, kind of what I was reading from that situation.
Yeah, they both don't trust each other for good reason.
Yeah, and they're both kind of, I mean, Childs, I would say, is like outspoken and kind of, I think he's got like a temper on him, seems.
It seems like Mac thinks he has a temper. I don't know. Childs seems to be pretty reasonable.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is like, yeah, I don't know.
I think you've been influenced by Mac.
I know. I'm Team Mac all day.
Okay, well, they all seem to be like going along with Mac as this, he's got the dynamite, he's going to be in charge, except Norris and Knowles because they try to jump Mac. Unfortunately for Norris, he gets thrown to the side. He has a heart attack and he dies.
Dude, which is crazy. It's crazier here in a minute, but it's like, okay.
There were some signs where like he had the flamethrower and he's like, oh, they looked like he was sore taking it off. Like a couple times, it seemed like he was in a little bit of pain.
It's just a funny thing. It's like, oh, we're fighting this alien and oh, shoot, man, we forgot like real human problems here. He died of a heart attack.
He's also fighting heart disease.
Yeah, poor guy.
Mac ends up getting the flamethrower back. We move everyone to like the medical room. The doc's like, hey, I got to try to save Norris. They untie him, let him do like some chest compressions, right? Well, while this is starting to go on, Clark quietly reaches over and picks up a little scalpel, and he looks like he's ready to make a move on Mac.
Yeah, which is such a great diversion because now in your mind you're thinking, okay, something's going to happen, right?
You see, you're thinking on a couple levels. One, you're like, okay, Clark thinks Mac's the thing, he's going to kill him, but you're also thinking Clark is a very, very probable candidate to be a thing.
Right.
So it's like, you don't know.
I feel like we're doing this podcast and there's these little traps where we get stuck in a circle and we keep falling in this circular thought. You know what I'm saying? Where you can't get out of the trap and we keep going through it. And then eventually we pop back onto like our line.
It's like a maze, and we take the maze, we take one of the side corridors, go around a bunch of rooms, and we just end up back on the main one.
Well, one might say back to the start.
Yeah. The doc starts doing some doc work. I did like he did the precordial thump. It's where you just like hit the chest. That is a thing they used to teach.
Oh, it's not a thing anymore?
No, I mean, you could try it, but it wouldn't hurt. They're dead.
Why not?
Yeah. Then he pulls out the defib pads and he goes for shocks. So he puts them on, one shock, boom, nothing. Goes in for the second shock when something truly horrifying happens. He puts the pads onto Norris's chest, pushes in when the dude's abdomen and chest just open up into like a void. And in that void now, there are massive teeth. The doctor's hands go inside, the teeth clamp down, Doc pulls them out only to reveal two nubs because he's left them inside Norris's chest.
His chest ate them. That was the craziest scene. I was so shocked. I'm like, dude, this can happen?
Well, no, it can't.
Well, I know not in real life,
But there's something about when he pushes and then it just caves in that is just like horrifying.
Well, because to me, it's a trap. What I read off this situation is the thing was like maybe doing the longer process in getting Norris and
Okay,
converting him.
we'll talk about that later. We're going to save that till the end.
Okay. And then it's like, okay, you know what? This bastard had a heart attack. I give up. Let's just set someone else up. Hey, put those pads on. Boom. Chest open, teeth bite.
Arms gone.
I mean, it was insane, but truly shocking. It did never in a million years would I have thought that would have happened.
Dude, it was a scene that gets you every time. Even every time I watch it now, I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, it's just
gnarly.
And he's dead. That's it.
Copper is dead. By the way, did you know that wasn't even Copper in the scene?
Yeah, it was played by an amputee.
A guy who didn't have arms, so he wore like a copper mask.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I gotta say, I do think in this movie that was one of my favorite effects, but what happens next, I think this whole sequence kind of blew me away.
Okay, I can't remember what happens next. Let's go. Oh,
right.
wait, yeah, never mind. I do.
Okay, well, out of Norris, that void in his chest, there grows a long, hairy snake creature with a head.
Hey, you gotta define this, bro.
It's Bigfoot's.
Yeah, I was like a long hairy creature.
It's like a snake that comes
it's
out.
It's not getting better here.
But it does. It is. But on the end is Norris's head, like his face with teeth, and he looks like a demented Norris.
Yeah, it is the most bizarre looking thing, and it's like, whoa, why is it even doing this?
Did you notice too? Out of the sides, there was like little legs growing out with feet on them.
Yeah. Okay, was there multiple Norris heads?
Okay, so there are two Norris heads now. There's the original Norris head, and then there's the other Norris head. It's confusing on how it's almost like Norris was growing a Norris within Norris.
Yeah, it's like, are we doing multiple copies here?
You can't look that far into it.
Nope, you're right. Maybe the long snake head was a diversion for the other one to get away. And they do, not to mention when the other head, that's not the snake version.
We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it.
Oh, okay, because that effect was crazy.
Yeah. So at this point, Mac hits the flamethrowers like, we got to light this thing up, starts roasting him. But back on the table is Norris's original head. All right. So as that heat is hitting his body, that head needs to get away. And it starts detaching slowly away from the body.
Dude,
the neck is stretching. There's like pus pockets exploding.
It feels like you're just seeing each fiber detach from the whole. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it is so gnarly.
Oh, it looks great.
And he's like grimacing in pain. The head like flops off the table and you see it like stretching out until it finally detaches.
Yeah, beautiful effect.
Beautiful, like well done.
A+.
And it only gets better from here because now the head's on the floor. It needs to get away. It's only got that tentacle. It like shoots it out, wraps around a chair or desk.
It's almost like a tongue, you know, and it sticks and then pulls itself.
Yeah, and it starts pulling the head, dragging it away. And yet again, we have the fire extinguisher boys run over. They're trying to put it out, but at least this time Mac's like, hey dudes, like chill for a second, let this roast. It doesn't seem like Mac notices the head on the ground.
Well, yeah, it didn't seem like anyone noticed it really at this moment in time.
Right. So finally they run in, they put out the fire. Now the head grows spider legs. They clamp down. It lifts the head up, and then it has like these little alien eyes that grow on the top. And dude, this thing is terrifying looking. It looks like a spiderish with these, like, I don't know, these weird googly eyes on top, but the head is upside down and it's making that noise again.
Yeah, it is so freaking bizarre. When you see it, honestly, your first reaction is what they react, where you're like, what the F am I looking at?
Well, yeah, it's the Palmer's line that is just like, it just sums up everything I think about when I see this. And he goes,
You gotta be fucking kidding.
It's like, dude, we've seen so much. It's like, how did you now one up yourself with this thing?
like that sequence of events from the chest exploding, the Norris snake head, to the head on the table that detaches and creates this weird spider-like head creature. It's gnarly.
Hey, it's overwhelming. It's a lot.
But it's beautiful at the same time.
Oh yeah, I mean,
A work of art.
I just love their reaction because they say exactly what everyone in the audience must have thought, and what I'm thinking now, like we said, is like, dude, this is crazy.
You gotta be kidding.
And it looked great. The effect looked amazing.
Well, this thing scampers out of the room. Palmer says his line. Mac swings around, sees it, lights it up. It's gone.
Yeah. So that one is gone now.
Also, I'm going to just say it. You guys already probably know Palmer is going to be a thing. He's assimilated in this movie. It's very strange that he says that line.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking, okay, so he was already, I'm just going to say infected because I can't say that other word.
Okay.
I'm just not confident in it, so we're moving past. I'm like worried. I'm like, dude, did we say it wrong the whole time through?
It doesn't matter.
Thank you. So why would he say that? Why would he point that one out? Because he was a thing.
Is he close to a perfect assimilation? I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like this one just effed up. Obviously, it screwed up. It tried to assimilate the guy with a heart condition. It didn't work. He, obviously it just kind of went to plan B and just tried to kill someone. Does it really try to kill people?
Okay,
though? That's what's kind of weird.
We got to move on. We're going to tie all that up at the end.
Sorry, we took the path. We're back.
Yeah, right back on. Matt goes back to the rec room. He wants Windows and Palmer to tie up the rest of them. And Clark seems to be very receptive to this idea, which is odd because Clark's been kind of antagonistic with Mac. So keep that in your mind. Childs, though, he's not down with the plan. He's like, no, dude, you're not doing all this. Mac then pulls out the gun, puts it to his head, and is like, hey, dude, I'll just kill you now if I need to. Clark now sees his opportunity. He goes in for a sucker punch. Bad idea, because Mac just immediately turns, shoots Clark in the head. He's dead.
Which is crazy. But honestly, at this point, because everything's been so insane, I'm like, human life doesn't matter as much as it did originally. I'm just like, okay, well,
let's be honest. We gotta thin the herd a little. There's too many characters.
Dude, it is funny because they drop and all of a sudden, and near the end of the movie, I'm like, wait, where did everyone go?
Yeah. Well, some do disappear.
Yeah. So that's also true.
Now, Dr. Copper and Clark, those guys are dead. They're on the table. They're doing their own thing. Mac tells Windows, hey, go tie up Palmer. We got to do a little bit of a blood draw.
And this is one of my favorite scenes. I love the setup of everyone sitting around and you got to test the blood one by one. And it just reminds me of a scene we talked about recently, The Faculty, where they did a similar thing, but instead of the blood draw, they did the
snorting, what was that called? Not smack. The drug you couldn't remember was scat.
Yeah, so they all do the scat, and it's funny because I'm sure this took inspiration from the scene we're going to talk about now. Dude, it's just beautiful.
I don't know if it did take inspiration from it, but it is similar.
I mean, it's the same idea. Someone's infected. You got to take this thing, a drug in this one scenario. In this scenario, we got to take the test of the blood.
Well, it's much more powerful in this one because, well, it's much more serious of a movie. But the whole thing of like the tension of waiting, and they just build on that, and it's just really good.
Well, because it starts out as Mac is going to administer the test, and everyone else is tied up in chairs, right?
Well, first we got to, yeah, that is true. But first you got to understand the test itself. And Mac explains, when a man bleeds, it's just tissue. But when a thing bleeds, that blood is going to try to survive no matter how. Like, that's how this creature works. It has to survive. So if I was to take a hot needle, put it in the blood, it's going to react.
Yeah, because like he said, tissue is just tissue for us. Once it's detached from us, we don't care about it. The thing, it's all one.
I just have to say this. If there's a perfect assimilation, it may not react. I'm just going to plant that seed. We're going to let it do what it wants with you.
What he means is that it's gotten so good at replicating that even the blood would pretend to be human.
That is just a theory.
But we're not going to go down that route. You can if you want. Hey, be our guest.
We'll talk about it later. But
also, can I point one thing out?
Sure.
Did you see Mac get the blood out of his finger?
I did not. They only showed like Windows and maybe one other person. I forget. There was like a lot of it they didn't show, which again just leaves it in your head of like, Max can control this. Did he do something with the blood? Is that really his blood? We don't know.
It's just something we got to point out, and let's get back to the show.
They collect up all the blood. They put them in their canisters. They label each one. Again, Mac does all this. They heat up the copper wire. Mac's in charge of that. Heats it up. And they start testing the blood. They take the wire, stick it in the blood, and see if there's a reaction. First, Windows, boom, clear. I did love it. It's like, then it's a cut. Now Windows has got a flamethrower.
Yeah, I love it because you're like separating them out. Like if you're bad, well, we're going to see what happens soon. But if you're not, you get to be part of the good team now. Also, I love the test when they put the copper wire in the blood, the sizzle. I love it.
It is good. Mac then's like, I'm going to tell you what I know about me. Boom, in the blood, he's clear. Dr. Cooper, he's dead, clear. Then we have Clark, and you know, Mac's like, hopefully this is like reacts.
God, please.
It didn't. Mac just murdered an innocent man.
I actually heard him. He tried to make the noise with his mouth.
It's doing something.
Oh, shoot. He was infected. Anyways, moving on to the next one. Yeah, dude, that's the crazy part. So he killed an innocent man. But, honestly, it's tough times right now. We can't judge anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do. I might have killed everyone. And I would have survived.
Then we get to Palmer's. Now, Mac has his little canister in his hand, and he goes to take it. And before he puts it in, they cut to Palmer's face, and he almost has like a little smirk, like, oh, man, this is going to get interesting. There's a look. He does.
He knows he's F, dude.
Now, as soon as Mac goes to put the needle in the blood, a freaking hand, like a blood hand, like comes out of it, just starts flailing around. Mac drops the blood. It goes on the floor. It starts to like scatter all over, moving around.
The blood's aware, dude. The jig's up.
We'll do you last.
I did find it interesting, though. It's almost too much for me when the blood starts moving around.
You know what my first thought was?
What?
Reminds me of Venom.
It is venomous, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you said hand, I don't know, just some mass flying out. It's like, okay, maybe just like a noise like, ow. Just like a little like, ooh. Yeah. What was that?
It did seem like a lot of reaction.
But I don't know. But it also
Whatever.
like, honestly, I watched this movie multiple times and it jump scared me every time.
Did you know that's a fake hand?
Yeah. Oh, that is so good. Yeah. So the hand that Mac's using the whole time isn't real.
Yeah, so they did it for the entire filming. They used a fake hand so that you could never tell when it changed.
Yeah, because if they used a real hand, then they went to the fake hand for the effect, it'd be obvious. So it was pretty cool. I didn't notice it till I watched the behind the scenes stuff about it. So
yeah, cool touch.
Yeah.
Palmer now starts transforming. His face starts like getting ripped apart. Things are like exploding out of him. And I did like it because Gary and Childs are strapped to him and they're freaking out. They're like, cut us loose, cut us loose.
That is a tough spot to be where you're stuck to the thing.
Yeah, and unfortunately now Matt goes to fry this thing with a flamethrower. It's not really working that great.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it just decided not to work.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know, no reason.
Unless he didn't want it to work.
But that doesn't even make sense.
I know. It sounded fun at the time. It doesn't.
We're not even going to play with that one.
Nope, move on.
Palmer now levitates to the roof. Again, he's in full transformation mode. Now, Windows also, he's got the backup flamethrower, so he's getting ready to fire it. But Palmer falls from the roof or the ceiling in front of him, and he's just standing there now. Windows freezes up, which doesn't work out well because Palmer's head turns into jaws with like teeth on it. A tentacle wraps around Windows, sucks him into Palmer, to which his head mouth clamps down on Palmer's head, lifts it up in the air, and just starts like eating him, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like that way, but I mean, I guess that is what he's doing. Who knows? But honestly, Windows, man, that's your bad. You could have easily handled the situation.
You got to pull the trigger, man.
I mean, not only that, those poor guys are stuck. You could have killed everyone because you hesitated, and who would even do that at that point?
Yeah, well, he's going to get his just due or reward, whatever. He's going to get eaten alive, all right? His head is in the mouth.
I mean, he's not really eaten alive. I mean, I guess, I don't know if they die or not, but they're going to come back as something else.
Whatever. Anyways, the thing's chomping on him. It throws his body, Windows' body, to the side. Finally, Mac gets his flamethrower working, roasts the Palmer, who runs out of the snow, collapses. Mac's not just letting that slide, though. He lights a stick of dynamite, throws it out, explodes his body.
Dude, I love it. It's like, hey, we're not going to play around. We're just going to blow everything up now.
No, we got to finish these things off. Speaking of that, he comes back in the room. Windows now is starting to turn, so Mac lights him on fire. Windows, Palmer, they're both dead now.
And I did like that too, because the guys that were stuck there, like, hold on, you left one in here, get Windows.
Yeah, that guy needs to be roasted.
Because he still has a couple of people he needs to test.
And speaking of that, yeah, we're not done. So now we got to test the rest of the group. Test Knowles, he's good. Now Knowles has a flamethrower. He's part of the good crew. Childs and Gary, those guys are good. Everyone's free. I should have just said it. Everyone else is good.
Yeah, so that's the cool part is now you're like, okay, we're back at baseline. We know these are all the good people.
Supposedly.
You can't let it go. Unless we have the perfect assimilation theory, but we're not going to go down that route.
Okay, yeah. So at this point, we have Gary, Knowles, Mac, Childs, and Blair. Blair is the one person we do not know if he's assimilated. They haven't tested him.
Yes.
Speaking of that, they need to go do that. So what they do
This
here,
drove me nuts, though. I'm like, dude, you got to all stick together, guys. We know this, right?
we do, but they don't.
And they all die because of it.
Mac leaves Childs at the door to man that while the rest of them go out to test Blair. The problem is when they get out there, the door's open, Blair's missing, which is strange because it was bolted from the outside. So we're to assume somebody let him out. But the other part is they notice the floorboards seem to be loose. Open it up. They find a cave. Blair's been pretty busy because he dug through the floor, I guess. I think we're assuming he dug and then like linked to another cave.
I think we're to understand there were already caves underneath.
And he linked to one. Either way, he's also built a spaceship.
I mean, there's no way that he's digging. Well, you know what, though? I was going to say there's no way he's digging out, but I don't know what these things are capable of.
We also don't know really how long he's been in here and assimilated.
Yeah, this could have been a month for all we know.
We really don't know. So apparently he used parts of the helicopters, built a spacecraft to where he can at least leave this area.
Yeah, which is interesting.
That is interesting. It's kind of a lot. But he obviously, being out here, he could have been assimilated at any time. We don't know.
That's what I keep going back to. Like, I stand on business that the thing is like not good at infecting people. Like, it's not effective. Like, I feel like you could do this without alerting everyone.
It all depends on what its real goals are and like how much assimilation has really happened. We don't know.
I'm 10 toes down, Dan.
Mac now decides, you know what? We got to blow this ship up. So they start preparing some dynamite, getting ready to throw it down there. Knowles then spots Child running outside. So he leaves his post and takes off.
It's Child's, but yeah, not a child.
He spots Child.
Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Yeah.
And not multiple children, not Childs.
Yeah.
It's one person named Childs who's running across.
Well, he says that's who he spotted. We don't know for sure that it was.
Well, we do because Childs does say later he left there and took off.
But the problem is the lights go out here.
That is a problem that we'll get to. But Childs does say he left and we did see him leave.
Yes.
So we can assume that is him.
Well, we saw someone leave. We are assuming that it's him. Yes.
He was there manning that area. He said he left. We saw a body that looked like his leave.
We saw a body leave. Yes.
Okay.
I'm not going to give in 100%.
All right. Right after he leaves, the lights go dark. The generator's blown. Mac's like, hey, the thing that's Blair thing, he killed the generator. It has no way out. It just wants to freeze us all out till the rescue team comes and then he can do his thing.
Yeah, again, we said it. It doesn't mind waiting, and that makes sense. It's frozen before and came back. It'll do it again.
The interesting thing here is you have to realize where Childs was standing is right next to the generator room. Like you go down the stairs, there's a shot that kind of shows it. You go down the stairs and it's right there is the generator room. So Childs was very close to Blair when Blair killed these lights.
So you're saying Blair killed the generator and then maybe infected Childs.
I'm saying maybe Blair infected Childs, then killed the generator.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Here's the real problem is Childs later on is going to say that he was chasing Blair. It's not possible because Blair was in the generator room below him, not outside.
You're saying Childs has to be infected.
I'm saying it's a good possibility he is because his excuse makes no sense.
That he chased Blair.
It's impossible because Blair had to be the one to kill the generator. Mac now decides it's time to heat things up. First thing, dynamite into Blair's cave, blow up the spaceship. It's gone. Then he goes to the compound. You remember all the J&B alcohol bottles?
Yeah.
Turns them into Molotov cocktails and just starts chucking them into each room, blowing up their whole compound, lighting the whole thing on fire.
Yeah, this is hey, we didn't win this battle, but hey, just like the computer with chess, hey, you know how you win? You destroy it.
Just take it all out.
Yeah.
After they destroy most of the compound, they head down to the generator room. Again, which when you see the shot, it's just very close to where Childs was standing. All right. Inside, they find that the generator is completely gone. Like missing gone.
I like that because someone asked, like, can it be fixed? And they're like, no, it's gone. Like someone picked it up and took it.
Which, like, I've thought about this. Again, I've thought, you guys, this has gone long. I've spent way more time about each part. I have to hold myself back on things. But the generator, I'm like, why did he take the generator? And then I'm like thinking, like, maybe he took it because the other spaceship got destroyed. Maybe there's parts in there he's going to use it for maybe another spaceship.
Okay.
That's just my theory. Don't know if that's
Could
true.
have used it for parts, yeah.
Because it still needs to try to find a way out. But I guess, why did he shut it off in the first place? Like, he wasn't doing it to just kill the lights. I guess it's just to shut the whole purpose is to destroy it so there's no power.
Well, yeah, so they're all going to freeze.
So then why even do that if you're trying to build a spaceship? Whatever, I don't care.
Hold on. That's an interesting point. You're right. If he already thought he was going to get out of there, why even bother destroying it?
Well, we don't know if he did destroy it. We just know he took it.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
we gotta let it go.
I mean, because I guess you could think like, okay, I'm going to take the generator, everyone's going to freeze, then I'll get on my little spaceship and fly out.
That is a thought.
Okay.
But then, like, you don't really care if the whole thought of the freezing thing, Mac threw out there was like, oh, it wants to freeze. Like, that's its purpose. But we don't really know if that's true. Maybe it wanted to get out on a spaceship and it was building that.
I'm done. Yeah, let's go back.
Now the plan with Mac is to blow the whole place up. So they're in the caves now. They're underneath where, again, there's like a little labyrinth of caves going around. They're going to take dynamite with some det cord. Gary's going to the storage room. Knowles is going to the generator. I don't think I mentioned this, but I just want to say Blair is assumed to have been, obviously he can get around through this cave system. Right? That's what we're thinking. His door is also wide open. So there's that. I personally like to think he's been roaming around the whole time through the cave system.
Yeah, he could have been infecting people left and right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
They're taking this dynamite. They're going to different areas. Gary goes deep into the cavern when the Blair thing shows up right behind him. And it just looks like Blair. What does he do? Doesn't say a word. He takes his hand, places it on Gary's face, or should I say into Gary's face, because his fingers just kind of bury under the skin and starts taking him over.
Yeah, it almost looks like a suction thing. Who knows? But yeah, so Gary is gone now. And yet again, I say, why are you guys splitting up?
Yeah, it's a crazy idea. Who cares? They did it. But the more interesting part to me is like, this seems like an advanced form of assimilation here. Like, we don't have him exploding open, doing all this crazy squirting liquid around. He just took a hand and seems to be doing it that way. Just something to think about.
You're right. That is different.
Seems almost better.
But who knows if that even turned him? We never see them again.
Doesn't matter. I'm just saying that.
Okay.
Now Knowles hears something, kind of walks over just as that thing with Blair is like kind of dragging Gary's body by his face, which is crazy looking. I like that. But like Knowles, it's not really sure if he saw it or not. He kind of walks after it and then Knowles is gone. We don't see him again. Unknown what happened. Actually, I do know what happened. There was a scene where he was supposed to die. They cut it.
Oh, so he is dead.
He is dead. Mac turns around. He realizes like, hey, dude, all these guys are gone. I think I'm on my own here.
Well, I did like that because he's like, hey, he calls for Knowles or something. And then you see him kind of look up and you see it like click in his head, like, oh, shoot, they're all gone already. We're done.
Yeah, this is in game here.
Yeah.
What does he do? He lights a stick of dynamite. And at that same time, we have a Tremors situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a worm under the ice and it's flying right at him and all the boards are getting like thrown around. He ends up like dropping the dynamite, diving out of the way, right? The interesting part here is the thing busts through the ice, but it doesn't attack Mac. It just takes the detonator and then it kind of grows out of the ground and now it looks like a freaking dinosaur.
Yeah, and then this is where I get confused because I'm like, okay, so it like assimilated all these people. Why is it one thing now? Are there others around or is it, well, I think there might be others around, right?
There could be.
It's just weird that now it's decided to take this giant form,
Dude,
but okay.
We don't, it's clear by now, we do not understand the rules and nobody does of what this thing does.
Yeah, you can choose so many different paths if you want to go. And then even from those paths, there's other deviations from there.
Yeah, and you'll end up coming around to where you started every time.
Yeah.
Mac now realizes he's got to deal with this thing right here. And he does a pretty sick-ass front roll, like jumps off, does a roll, grabs the dynamite, and he's like,
Yeah, you too!
huge explosion, whole camp's on fire now.
The thing is gone.
The thing is gone. So now we're assuming the thing is dead. Mac takes a seat. Again, it's like destruction all over. He's just got his like bottle of J&B. He's about to take a swig off it. And that's when Child shows back up with a flamethrower.
Okay, and you also have to remember now we're in Antarctica. It's freezing cold. There's no way for them to heat themselves. This is like they're all gonna die. Or both of them. They're gonna die. There's no way to get out of this.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide, no safety. They're just in a bad situation.
Right.
When Mac sees Childs, his first thought is, how are you here? Like, we saw you leave. Like, what happened? And Child, he explains now, hey, I thought I saw Blair in the blizzard. I chased after him, got lost in the storm. And you can tell Mac's looking at this and he's like, That's interesting.
Well, yeah, especially when like things are blowing up, you feel like it's odd this guy was not around. And again, why are you chasing someone out in the storm?
Why would you solo chase Blair? You don't get a hold of the other guys, and we know Blair was not out there. So who were you chasing? That's the problem with it. You can never make sense of that. There's no one he should have been even seen out there.
Well, you don't know. Maybe Blair was running out there and then went to the generator.
He'd have to pass Childs.
Okay.
Like it was too quick. Like as soon as Childs left, the power went out.
Oh.
So it's the same time. Like it couldn't have happened.
Okay. All right.
So he didn't. So that's why I'm going to get to what I think about Childs a little bit
That
later.
is interesting. That makes sense. All right.
Basically, they both decide, you know what? We're both kind of doomed. And Mac looks over and he's like, hey, if we have any surprises for each other, I don't think we're in much shape to do anything about it. And Child's like, all right, well, I kind of agree. What are we going to do? And Mac's like, hey, maybe we should just sit, wait here for a little while, and see what happens. And now we get into one of the most controversial parts, which is such a small part, but it's such a big part.
It's so simple, but there's so much depth to this.
Mac takes his bottle of J&B, the one he's sitting with, right? And he was about to take a swig off it. And he looks at Childs and he hands it over to him. Childs pulls it back, takes a little swig as Mac's locked in on him the whole time. And then he just lets out a little laugh. That's the end of the movie.
And it's just like, what happened here? Like, there's so much depth to it because it's like, was that a test?
Okay, let's just break this part down real quick because then we'll go through a bunch of stuff. Right now, this whole thing has been dissected. People have said that in the bottle was like kerosene. It was a setup that like if Childs drank it, he's a thing and he didn't know it was kerosene. But I think we've all seen like the Assimilation. It would know it's not alcohol. Like they still act like humans.
Right.
So I don't even think that holds any point. Also, Mac was going to drink. He's not, and he's been drinking this the whole time. He's going to want a swig after all this stuff.
Right.
So me personally, I don't think there's a whole lot to any of that. I think I personally just kind of look at it like, hey, I know Childs probably wouldn't drink this normally, but we're both like, it's an F situation. And when Childs takes a swig, he's just like, yeah, like this is just where we're at.
But the problem is he knows better than anyone that if he lets Childs live, he could be letting the thing live because that's what the thing wanted to do. It wanted to freeze. So it's like, why? And you're both going to die. Why would you just let him live?
I think like he looked at it and when Childs drank at it, in my mind, Mac was just thinking like he probably is the thing. The lie made no sense, but we're kind of just effed. Like, and he just kind of laughed. Like in his mind, he knows he's the thing.
Oh, okay. So he knows and he's just going to go with it.
It just is what it is. Or maybe he's not going to go with it, but at this point, he is going with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Then we could also go on the path that Mac was also a thing. They both were.
That is very possible. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go through a final rating. We're going to go over the major points of contention in this movie. Like, is Mac the thing? Is Blair, or not Blair, Childs the thing? And like some other like key points that happened, break those down, a little bit of trivia. But first, we're going to do the final rating. So we're going to first do that, then do that other stuff.
Okay.
So let's do the final rating because that is the easiest to explain out of all of this. What is your rating of the movie? We can knock it out.
Okay. I'll try to go quick. Dude, the acting was great in this. The setting was great. The whole concept of the thing is just beautiful because you can't even describe what it is. You don't even know what it looks like. And the fact that it injects this paranoia into the story to where no one can trust anyone. And then the way that Carpenter did the movie to where you don't even know who's been infected and who's not, to even the ending. I love the ending so much because it leaves so many questions and then which invites speculation to which makes it so much more fun to watch this movie over and over again. I'm gonna give this thing like a 9.5. It was just great. I can't believe I liked it this much. It wasn't that scary, but I just love the movie.
Dude, I love the vibe of it. Everything you said, pretty much knock it out. Like I've watched it so many times. Each time I kind of see something differently and I start to think about it differently. And I've gone down multiple paths. I've watched it straight through where it's just like cut and dry what they give you. And you're just kind of like, oh, who turned first? And then I've watched it again and I'm like, oh, shoot. Like this could be like, I've looked at it from everybody's angle. Like Mac could be the thing. How does that play out? Childs is the thing. How does that play out? Then you dig in deeper. Like what is the thing? Again, we go in like way in ton of detail. The rewatchability is through the roof. This is a great movie. It's a 9.6. Special effects out the gate. They're awesome. They look crazy. And each time you watch those too, you're like, what am I even looking at? Like they put so much detail in some of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, dude, so much goo too. Lots
so
of goo.
much goo.
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie. Like highly recommend it. It's right now at the top of my list of like best horror movies.
I can't believe I liked it as much. I honestly didn't think I was going to like it. I didn't really want to review this movie.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. All right, now let's break down things that like the concepts in here. Okay, assimilation. We're not going to go in like a ton of detail, but the problems with the assimilation, there's slow assimilation is assumed with Norris. Norris in this movie seems to be assimilated, right? Like he has the chest that opens up and bites the dude's arm off, but it's not like, obviously that just happened. He was already a Norris person. It wasn't like you saw the creature do it to him. Like obviously this has been going on for a while. So
well, how is that obvious that it's been going on for a while?
Because he's been walking around normal for a while. Like when did it happen then?
It could have happened anytime we didn't see. You can't assume that's slow.
He's dude, broadly, it's assumed a slow assimilation.
Why though?
Because he was assumed to be the first one assimilated because he is thought to be the one that was the shadow figure.
Okay, well, I don't know about that, but I do know there is the slow assimilation theory works in the fact that he had a heart attack because he was still being turned. And
That's
that
part of
caused
it.
the heart attack. If it was fully changed, then he wouldn't have had the heart attack because the alien's not going to have a heart attack, right?
I have no idea.
Unless you have the perfect assimilation.
Because then that's back to him being normal.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Whatever. I'm just saying there is a thing like where people argue that there's slow assimilation and Norris is a candidate for that. There's the fast assimilation like Bennings. That dude was changed like instantly, right?
Okay, so the slow is like, okay, you touch something on the alien to your lips. Now that's inside you and it's going to eat you away over time. The fast one's like, hey, I'm just going to brute force this thing, turn it into a blob and take you over.
The fast one is to me is like when you're next to like that carcass and stuff that it just takes you over. Like in the kennel, that's like they're trying to do it fast. Slow is like maybe you got infected and it's just slowly taking you over from inside.
Okay.
Again, this is all like theory stuff. The problem is if that slow assimilation is a thing, they could all be things and it's just slow. You just don't know.
That's true because yeah, they're all around each other. And if it's airborne, you're gone.
Yeah, well, and if it's even at the level like Fuchs just like described it to where it's like a particle of it, like they've all been sharing stuff the whole time.
Yeah.
They touch each other. It's crazy. Okay, big question. Whose room did the dog go into first? There's whole like hour like breakdowns of this stuff. I'm going to try to make it quick. We saw the silhouette. There's a Palmer theory or Norris. That's really the two that it falls to.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed too. It's just between those two people.
Palmer, it looked like him. But we already know it was Dick Warlock, so that doesn't really matter. But Palmer shared a joint with Knowles, and in the movie, Knowles was not infected. So you would think if it was Palmer, it should have infected Knowles. So that kind of like gives you in your mind, it's probably not Palmer.
If you're a believer in the slow assimilation theory. We gotta make that clear.
But there's also the silhouette that did have him in a collar that looked very much like Norris. It could have been Norris. It seems like most people think it was Norris.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Who knows?
I've gone back and forth and I've watched multiple videos. I'm just going with Norris at this point because I think Palmer is the Long John one, but there's two Long Johns, so F it. Who cares?
Yeah.
But let's go back to the first Long Johns. So someone broke it down. There are 5 characters wearing matching ones. Blair, Copper, Mac, Knowles, and Palmer. Copper, Mac, and Knowles, they all passed the blood test. Blair was still doing like research. It seemed like he was invested in finding this thing. And then again, if you're a perfect assimilation, you would do that. So whatever. But it's got to be Palmer is the Long Johns. That's what people think.
So now you just argued your initial point and you're thinking it might be Palmer.
I don't know. Because the Long Johns the first assimilation?
Yeah, who's to say that 2 people haven't been assimilated?
Maybe even 3.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's also 2 pairs of Long Johns. That's a problem.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a couple people couple dudes having a good time.
The interesting one, who planted Mac's clothes? We know Palmer was one of them. It seems like he's the one that was missing a lot. Kind of assume it was his. Overall, the clothes kind of blows my mind of everything that was happening with him.
Yeah, I'm kind of over the theory. It's like too hard. You can go a million different ways.
The way the movie's shot and stuff, you just don't see people.
Yeah.
And there's time jumps, so you don't know. Just like who sabotaged the blood. Norris or Palmer's like what I'm up to. But again, why and who you go in a circle, because eventually I will end up arguing that sabotaging the blood is a good thing. So,
whoever sabotaged it is a hero.
let's get to the big ones. Mac and Childs. Let's start with Childs. Was Childs the thing? And I personally believe Childs was a thing. And it's only because his whole line of like, he was watching that door. He left his spot because he saw Blair, when we know Blair sabotaged the generator and it's impossible that he saw him. So why would he say he did?
Yeah, and I would also say, like, on first watch and subsequent watches, I always thought he was the thing. And I kind of stick by that. For what you said, I also think just going and chasing Blair, like, what are you going to do? Like, should you really go chase him out in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, why wouldn't you get a hold of the rest of the guys to then go after him if you wanted to do that? Just to run off into the snow by yourself and say you were chasing him. The lie doesn't make sense. It also doesn't make sense because Blair was below you with the generator. So that doesn't make any sense. It does make sense that if Blair was near him, you probably got assimilated.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were alone. They like it alone. You're a prime candidate. People have also said like there's a theory with him. There was something with the coats. I think that's all BS because like the coats switched, like his original coat got torn. I think there was like filming continuity things that got messed up. They also said like child's breath in some versions you don't see it, but apparently in the Blu-ray you see everything. I think that's just film stuff.
There's all this stuff. Yeah, the continuity, the coats did change locations. So it's either like you think a struggle happened and so you think he was for sure infected at that point, or you think it was like just a movie thing where they, like you said, they just moved the coats and forgot.
Yeah, I don't think this is like a Kubrick type movie where he's like so detailed. I think stuff just was shot like a long time apart and stuff just moved around.
Yeah, whatever.
He also drank out of the bottle. People say, I mean, we're not even going to do the kerosene thing, whatever. People say if he was normal, he wouldn't have done it. The problem is when you get into any decision making and you're saying they're assimilated, it starts to just be like it's a perfect assimilation to where they're going to do whatever. It's like you can't judge their actions like that. So what? I don't even care. He drank after the bottle. I'm just taking that. I already think he's the thing anyway. Bottle? He drank the bottle after Mac. Like it's like you don't want to get the germ transmission type.
Yeah, but at that point they're both dead anyways.
Yeah, I don't even think, honestly, I think we can scrap the whole J and B thing. I like that scene anyways. It's just whatever.
Sure.
Whatever. Long story short, I just think he was assimilated. He's a thing. It's a child's thing. Was Mac the thing? This gets interesting, and we're going to just blast through some of this. He went with Palmer and Norris to the alien spaceship, right?
Right.
Palmer and Norris both turned out to be assimilated. That's sketchy.
That's sketchy, yeah.
That's a little sketchy. Fuchs found his torn clothing. That seems odd.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. I just don't want to believe this.
I don't want to either, but this is just facts.
Okay.
Knowles also found his torn clothing. Fuchs just turned up dead.
I mean, here's the problem. Things are stacking up when you look at it from this point of view.
There's a shot where he's doing his voice recording thing. The camera seems to be watching him from the hall, like as if someone's about to assimilate.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. There is that weird shot as if someone's watching him, and it seems like something's probably going to come in as soon as the camera leaves.
It does seem like that.
Yes.
He passed the blood test, but did you ever see his thumb cut?
I told you, no, you didn't.
Now, here's an interesting line. When Mac says, okay, if you look at this line through a different lens, as Mac is a thing speaking to other things, when he says, talking about the blood test, and he's like, it will try to survive, crawl away from a hot needle. The blood from one of you things won't obey when it's attacked. Maybe he is the perfect assimilation. He's saying you are imperfect assimilations and your blood will react and you deserve to be wiped out for it.
Oh my God. That's
the perfect assimilation theory.
I mean, that does make sense.
I'm just saying.
Wow. I mean, dude, when you stack up the evidence, it's like, oh my God.
And then if you think about it from the thing's perspective, its goal is to get the perfect assimilation. Maybe it doesn't want a bunch of assimilations. It just wants the perfect version.
Which would tie into the whole issue I have where it's like, it came from the Norwegians and there's only one of them. Why? And then even now we're left with 2 people, but are we even left with 2 people?
See, and then you got to look at it. If it is that perfect, maybe it just wants the perfect. If you look at the assimilations from when they started, they're only been getting better. Like the first time we see it, we see the 2 merged bodies. That's kind of whatever. I guess the first one is the dog.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty good, actually. It kind of blows this up a little bit, but whatever. It's a dog. Bennings is an imperfect impersonation or assimilation. Like he's got the hands messed up.
Right.
Norris got jacked to get his body fought back and died.
Right.
Palmer is assimilated, but his blood is not. So it's not a perfect one. His it attacks back. So not great. I mean, it's not bad. Now, Blair seems pretty good. I don't know how you argue that one. He seems good. Like seems to do a quick assimilation with Gary. I don't know, but Mac blew him up. So I guess he wasn't perfect.
There can only be, hey, this is the Highlander rules. There can only be one.
So then if you look at it, when it finishes with Mac and Childs, when he gives him the drink, Mac realizes like, hey, either we're both assimilations, and it's kind of a laugh. Like, okay, what are we going to do out here? Well, we both are going to be fine because we're assimilated. Like,
oh, that's
we're both
funny.
effed. Like, we are who we are.
Dude, it is so interesting when you break that down. I mean, I don't know about the perfect assimilation and all those rules we went over and how we transfer from one person to the next, whatever, all that stuff. But when you put it out, like how he went with people that were assimilated, we already know that. He went alone with them. His clothes were torn a couple times. Plus, then those people end up dying or getting assimilated. It's just weird.
Yeah. Either way, like, I love the Mac assimilation theory because you can just bury your brain in that and it goes wild. Here's the truth, though. We don't know any of this.
No.
It all could be true. It all could be wrong.
Hey,
we don't really know.
Hey, we got you. You just listened to 2 hours of speculation.
And that's what makes this movie great, though, is that you can sit here and just deep dive the heck out of it. And then, you know what? You can watch it again and be like, I was completely wrong.
Yeah, man, you like really threw me for a loop because I've watched videos because I was kind of headstrong on the fact that I did not want Mac to be the thing. But dude, when you put out the evidence, it kind of seems like he is.
There's a lot of issues.
If you take away emotion, I'm like, yeah, he is.
But you don't want him to be.
No.
Let us know in the comments who you think is the thing and why. I would love to hear the reasons.
Sure. Oh, dude, I'm sure we're going to get some stuff. So unleash the dogs? Unleash the things?
All right, we'll do some quick trivia and then we'll be out of here. So it has become a tradition in British Antarctic research stations to watch the thing.
Wow.
that was a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Imperfect assimilation. Anyways,
hey, dude, we are two different versions of the same thing.
That is true.
Dude, we got thing.
The British Antarctic research teams watch the thing. That's all I'm trying to say. It's cool. That's kind of cool.
Every year they watch it. That's cool. Yeah.
I actually like that. John Carpenter was okay, I know this one. He was impressed by the dog Jed. He was amazing as an actor.
Everyone is. That dog did a great job.
Knocked it out of the park. Here's one interesting one. Tobe Hooper was originally slated to direct and write the film before John Carpenter. So Tobe Hooper was the director of and producer of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, that's cool. Interesting. Well, that would have been, like you have written there, a lot different of a movie.
Yeah, so apparently that one featured an alien that did not shapeshift or assimilate and followed Ahab-like character named the Captain, who goes on an epic quest to find and kill the thing.
I can be confident in saying that that movie wouldn't have been nearly as good.
Sorry, Hooper, this one just is better. At around 32 minutes, the flesh flower that attacks, that sounds pretty nasty. I think I've been in a couple flesh flowers.
Yeah. It's usually a good thing.
The flesh flower that attacks Childs is incredibly detailed. So apparently the petals, I think this is the one that's in the cage with the dogs.
Yeah, no, I saw a clip of this where it's actually the dog's tongues.
Yeah, it's 12 dogs' tongues with rows of canine teeth.
Yeah, which is funny because I saw it when someone paused it, but on rewatch, I never noticed it.
I didn't notice it at all. That's awesome. So Rob Bowden, good job.
Yeah, great touch.
There were multiple alternative endings that were filmed. One ending cuts to sometime later where Mac's been rescued to civilization, passes a blood test for some mysterious government agent who somehow knows who the thing is. So they did all these like different filmings. I don't even know really why they did multiple versions, but
well, I do think at some point they didn't even know which route they wanted to go.
Yeah, I think they were trying to figure out how they wanted to do this thing, which is understandable because it does. I mean, they landed on the perfect one that just leaves you with tons of questions instead of doing any of these.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the one they picked was the best one.
Well, there was another one filmed showing a Malamute, so the dog. I think this one's actually kind of interesting. The dog survives the explosion, and as it runs off, it takes one final look back at the burning camp before running off in the snow.
So in that one, it's like 100% the thing lived.
Yeah, it just did full circle.
Yeah, all right. That's okay.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's kind of a nice touch. This one's just so good. A third ending simply showed Childs getting up, walking away into the snowstorm, leaving Mac to perish alone. You know what really all these really just tell you? Is like, just don't take it that serious. Like, you're never going to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it could have been all these.
Yeah.
There was one ending that included a climactic showdown between Mac and Childs. Rescue chopper arrives just in time to save him. Only problem is they blow him up. They blow each other up with dynamite.
Oh, I mean, that's crazy.
That's a bad ending.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's all there was for the ending scenes. But they do mention Noel's death scene was cut. I told you that. And then there's one with Dean Condy. There was a whole thing with the blood test, the light in the eyes, that he says he made sure like the things, whoever was a thing, didn't have the light in their eyes, but that was his own thing that I've heard that's all debunked anyways. So
yeah, and that only applied to that scene where like, because people started looking for light in people's eyes throughout the movie and whatever, that didn't matter.
No, and that was like his he was saying that, not like Carpenter.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter. Anyways, guys, that is the end of the thing. That is a crazy deep dive that I've enjoyed every bit of.
I mean, dude, we have gone in circles over and over again, but it's been fun.
Yeah. Look forward to editing this.
I know, dude. I'm like, it was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's an easy one. We appreciate you guys being here, and we look forward to hearing what you guys say in the comments. But before we go, gotta thank the tribe. Tim Fox, Nicole Pets Cats, Matthew C., Frederick Blackstone, Crazy Make, Freaky Frog, and Vane. Those are our YouTubers. Patreon, Banky, Drew Castilla, Nicole Pets Cats, Fernando Zapata, Tanner Strode. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting us. Seriously appreciate it.
Guys, we gotta just close out. This has been like 3.5 hours. It's long.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to cut it down. So it won't be that long for you guys, but man, it was a journey and this was a fun one.
All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, guys.